6029228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Baker here in the studio with me. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. Happy New Year's Eve. You a big New Year's Eve guy, Eddie?
Not anymore.
No?
Nah.
Wait, you once were, though?
Yeah, when we were younger, it became amateur hour after.
It became amateur
Yeah.
hour. Were you ever part of that amateur hour?
Oh, good Lord, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
No, I look back and I'm like, I don't think there's ever, I don't think alcohol was ever a friend of mine. Because yesterday, we got into that serious conversation about veterans care and help with substance abuse, mental health issues, and they said it very much in the veterans community is self-medication.
100%, yeah.
And I think most of my life, by the way, we're in a very introspective mood today. Most of my life, especially 20s, it was just straight up self-medication. It wasn't to have a good time. It was just, I'm uncomfortable in my own skin, especially around other people in a large group of people I don't know. So let's just, what's the line? I can't even remember the character's name. It's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. Paul Newman plays a character where the click goes off his head, and that was the longest time. And so New Year's Eve was like the extra excuse. And then the hope, though, that maybe something weird will happen out of all the just turning off my mind.
Yeah, well, that was us. We generally made something weird happen on New Year's Eve.
Right.
I mean, with or without intent.
Is there any you can talk about legally and also reputationally?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think
Not
so.
that I can think of. It'll
I
lead to
didn't think so.
something.
Yeah, we don't need to.
Yeah, but I remember always going into it with the best of intentions.
Best of intentions.
Best of intentions. That
Best of
we are going to have a
intentions,
great
yes.
night tonight.
Mhm.
Tonight, it's no ladies. We're just going out to dance, guys. We're just going to dance.
I just want to dance.
Yeah.
We call that a Lindsey Graham party.
Yeah. Great intentions, but
Right. Yeah, it's just New Year's Eve in particular. I always find it to be a disappointment.
yeah, it is.
In many ways.
Some of the best times I can remember, though, honestly, is when I was younger, when I was younger, and be with my parents and watching them and them watching us, like watching the ball fall from New York. and things
Okay,
like-
yeah,
those are some
more
great memories.
childhood.
And yeah, 100%.
Oh, no, and I started to do it right. You curl up next to somebody you like or love,
Mhm.
and you enjoy yourself quietly at home. And, I have some pretty fond memories. Remember when Dave Chappelle dropped his stand-up special
that
on New
was a
Year's
good
Eve?
one.
Yeah, it's little moments like that, and you're watching with somebody you love, and you're like, all right, life's pretty good in that regard. That's a lot better than going and just turning off your mind and becoming some, animal.
It happens, but yeah, you're right.
Because that's the worst thing. Blacking out is,
Not my friend.
yeah, that is the worst thing because you're still operating.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
are,
like you
and
just
everybody
passed
else
out.
knows what you did. and
Right.
do.
And you don't know,
Not
and
a
you
clue.
feel guilty. And and then I started, as I got older, I wouldn't go to too much excess, but still the next morning I'd feel guilty. I'm like, and I didn't even do anything.
That's it.
And I'm like, I
got
gotta
that,
run far away from all this.
I blame that guilt on my mother. I have mother's guilt.
Oh,
doubt.
yeah. Oh,
100%.
right. Yeah. I could blame my mother, but I think it's just me at this point. See,
It's
folks,
easier to blame other people, Joey. I'm just
and,
telling you.
and all this psycho babble that's out here. It's like, because of my home life with
Yeah.
mom and dad. And I think it's true. Like, the people that are closest to you and raise you and mold you, yes, definitely shape who you are.
Oh, no doubt.
But at a certain point, you have to pick up your cross and be like, well, that's the reality I came out of. What am I going to do with it?
One thing that, and I guess that's why I'm not so sympathetic when people cry with what I grew up with. I know what I grew up with. I looked around me in my neighborhood and friends I had, they even had it worse. I don't know very many people that came from a great golden childhood home life. I just don't. So we all had to pick ourselves up, and not everybody did. Honestly,
Oh,
not
no,
everybody did.
and sometimes you are so wounded that, yeah, certain things are off
Yeah.
the table for you. And
Yep.
I certainly understand that. But what I love to do, half jokingly, half seriously, is if somebody's really going on and on about how they were raised and the trauma they've been through and all this stuff, is just quote that scene in Good Will Hunting, where Robin Williams finally gets Goodwill Hunting to break.
Yes.
Like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It's not your fault. And man, sometimes people laugh. Sometimes
it hits them though, Joey.
Sometimes they start crying like that
it hits
scene,
'em.
and then sometimes people just get angry. It's like, you a-hole. How dare you make a joke out of it? Like, how else are you going to get over this other than to laugh? This is the beauty, by the way, of, I think, this comedy boom that's hit this nation, is that it allows people who really are going through it. Like, they don't have a lot going on, but it allows them for just a moment or two to release, be part of a community, and laugh. It's something involuntary about that.
And being
laughter.
surrounded by others laughing as well. You get surrounded by that warm laughter.
Right.
But there, you know the saying probably better than anybody. Sometimes it's a lot easier to laugh than cry.
Oh, yeah.
Just roll with the laughter.
Though, I've had moments where you drink too much and you start crying.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know, it's a real thing.
Dude, I'm 55. I don't have to drink too much for that.
Oh, you're starting to get them. Your
Lord.
estrogen is starting to go up. Okay.
Maybe that's the case. So, yeah.
Now,
menopause in full effect.
Many years ago, I remember I put out the theory that as men and women get older, they essentially look alike.
Okay, I
like
fought
that's
that.
Transition.
Yeah, I fought that.
Like
theory.
if you want to transition at 65, I think it doesn't take that much work.
I'm saying I fought that for a long time. That theory, I thought you were crazy. But as I'm getting older, not me personally, and not in my age group of 55, but the older, 65, 70, there are times when I got to do a double take.
And sometimes there's some very beautiful women as they get into even their 80s and 90s, and they're very much women, and manly men, even as they get older, you can still tell, that's a man right there. But that's not most people. We all sort of reversion to the mean.
Not most people by no means.
And I've just noticed that like there is a certain people converge together to where the sexes sort of fade away.
Also, the body start to develop this unibody.
Yes, exactly. There's no distinguishing feature.
Yeah.
Like, is it hourglass or is that V-shape for men, or is it? No, it's kind of like Dr. Robotnik. It's sort of like Mr. Peanut. It's these amorphous egg-like character, Humpty Dumpty. Yeah, in a way, yes.
Very much so, especially the Humpty Dumpty.
Or
you'll notice the legs go to chicken.
Both old men and women get the frog standing up on two legs walking with the no. My dad used to say, you have a condition called noecidal. What?
Yep.
Noecidal. Like what? You don't have a backside, John. Also had an uncle make fun of me because I was skinny most of my life before I got real fat. And I was skinny, and my uncle would make fun of me that that's just the front of your back right there, your chest right there, young man. So there's so much going on as we head into the new year. I'm not big on the resolutions thing, as you can tell, folks. What I am big on is just take the habits you already are good habits and do it better. So here's a good thought experiment, and I can admit a lot of my habits, are they born of sort of laziness and little cowardices, or of your inventive best self? And when I think most of us look in the mirror, we have to say, no, it's like I was a little cowardly here, or I was a little lazy there. And so, but the thing is, these habits sort of get ingrained. Like we like to think we're these like, I got free will, God gave it to me. We can I can just break out of it today. And this is, I think, why I don't like resolutions, because it creates this sort of culture of like the diet culture. It's like everything you eat is a diet. In the literature, the scientific literature, like animals have diets, what they eat. So whatever you eat, it could be Taco Bell every day.
Junk diet.
That's a diet. But what I mean is like folks go, well, okay, because of this magical line, this magical date on the calendar, all of a sudden I'm going to just break all my habits. Or I'm going to just break that one habit even.
If not, then when, Joey?
Right. And it's like, no, I think that's the wrong mentality.
I agree with you. It is, because it makes it almost, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yes.
I'm going to quit smoking as of this day. And we know that's
why don't you just quit smoking now?
Exactly. Well, because I got a half-pack cigarettes left.
Well, nicotine's like one of the most addictive substances on earth.
Yeah. But I'm not a huge resolution guy, but I do generally try to take the time to reflect, see where I want to be next year, go ahead and plant a couple mental flags and go from there. But again, on the TikTok.
Oh, no.
There are these people, Joey,
Oh.
And they seem very happy. They plan their entire year on the calendar. Everything from day off to dinners to dates, vacations, everything. And they swear because their calendar is, oh, big time. But they swear their calendar is so full, it never gives them any time to mess up. They've already planned everything out. It makes their life a lot easier.
Somebody like that, I do not want to know what's going through their mind when they have to stop every once in a while.
That's my thing. They've got to keep their mind so busy. And I know, I get it, but man, you got to keep
And maybe
your mind
that's a good
so
thing.
busy.
You use that sort of like, I can't be alone in my own thoughts and just relax. Like you use that as a unquenchable fire to drive you to do things. But
I like the idea of it, but I know how undisciplined I am. And that would lead to some really negative feelings towards myself, probably 3 days in.
Right. But like habits take a lot of time.
Oh,
it's not like you just decide one day and all of a sudden things are better.
True.
It is more, no, you chip away day by day.
Yeah.
And it's something that I know a lot of folks who really have struggled with addiction, substance abuse, or it could be something like you're just in a rut, like with the people you love. Like you're going through the motions.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't hate them. You don't, you still love them, but it's sort of like, you get this with everybody. Oh, I think this has happened between you and I at moments. Like, oh, you again.
It's still you.
Right. It's like you got to remind yourself, no, you can have that energy. Like when a radio show first starts, or when you first start a business, or you first get into a relationship, or the first time you ever heard, Iron Maiden sing Number of the Beast and Bruce Dickinson hit that high note. Like, you can recapture that magic, but the thing is you can't force it.
No, you can't.
Especially the creative stuff. It's
Lightning
more
in a
like you
bottle.
got to wait for that moment and then seize the moment.
Lightning in a bottle, man.
So, I don't know. Like I said, we're in an introspective mood today. I just know I am much happier, and it took years to get away from like the need to essentially shut off my mind, look for the click in my head, and go find something weird to do, wherever the fates and my subconscious desires take me. And that is not I'm glad I'm past that for the most part. Maybe it'll come back. Who knows?
You ever thought about going hunting for Bigfoot?
Hunting for Bigfoot. Now that sounds wholesome, actually.
No, it's very dangerous. And plus,
Or wait, is that a euphemism of some sort?
No, they just found 2 people the other day passed away because they went looking for Bigfoot.
What do you mean they passed away looking for Bigfoot? They went into the woods?
Yeah, they parked their car, light jackets. I think they got caught up in a storm, and
Wait, was it
2
not
grown
wood?
men.
Was it not like forest they knew?
I don't know. They literally drove from one state to another, so I think they knew the general area. But it can happen. I mean, honestly, it can happen where you're out. It's happened to me fishing before, where you're out, it's a perfect day, and all of a sudden you have a heck of a storm comes over and damn near kills you. But in this case, they had a snowstorm come over, and they died of the elements.
Yeah, that's awful.
It is, but my first thought was,
How does that happen?
yeah, you're grown men.
Right.
You're grown men.
Like if you're really going for Bigfoot, like prepare like resources. I don't know, like have a tent, have a heavy jacket, have some food.
At least a jacket. So you're driving along the dirt road and you go, wait, there's Bigfoot, and you get out then and you start walking. I don't get it.
Oh, I'm so happy right now. I've gone from introspective and like, thank God I've gotten over bad habits to I just pulled it up on Google, folks. And I know most of you aren't listening because you're so ready to watch the Crimson Tide.
Oh, they're already losing.
The Tide.
They're losing.
They're losing 16-0.
Are they? So Roll Tide.
Against the Michigan Wolverines. The Tide. No, how about y'all stop saying the Tide and say it was Nick Saban? And I will say that as an Auburn graduate, as a lifelong Auburn fan, Nick Saban is the reason y'all were so great
He was great.
these last few years. And
Nick
that's
Saban was the man.
to the University of Alabama's credit, to Bama's credit, they have picked great leaders.
Oh, 100%.
Bear Bryant was a great leader.
But I think it takes them a couple crappy ones to finally go, okay, we really want a good coach. We're going to have to get out of the way.
And there really is a difference between the guy, like I think, was it DeBoer, this guy's name? I'd imagine DeBoer is a fantastic X's and O's guys. He really, it's like when Tuberville was running and folks are like, oh, a football coach.
Right.
I'm like, you run a top SEC program.
Right. Not just a football coach for some junior college or anything. Right.
Like, because so there's a lot of detail, or at least you need to be smart enough to pick the right bean counter, pick the right people to help you administer
Relationships
and manage a thing. So I think I'd imagine DeBoer's a very hyper competent guy, like manages things well, knows the X's and O's well, probably recruits fairly well. And now with the Tide name behind him, he probably is even better at it. But there's this extra factor to Nick Saban and to people like him where it's more about raising men. I think that's the way Saban looked at it. And that then, if you're looking on, okay, how do I not just make this guy a better cornerback or a better linebacker or a better left tackle? I'm actually looking to make a man out of this person, whether they're going to the NFL. It's not just about your skill level in the NFL. You need to be ready with millions of dollars in your pocket to be a man and not screw it up. Or even if you're not going into the NFL, you know that for a fact. You need to learn how to actually tackle this world, not just tackle the opposition on the football field. And I think Saban had that factor. And also I think the man was just a workaholic and anybody who reaches that level, a little crazy.
And he did get those players respect.
Oh, of course.
And I think nowadays, and I think it was smart for him to get out because now they get all this NIL money in there, and you don't have that anymore. You know, coach either put me in or I'm going somewhere else.
Right.
And
but
how is that better for anybody?
So, you know, we might eat crow. Maybe the Tide will have a big comeback and beat the Michigan Wolverines, but it's already, it's only 4.5 minutes left in the second quarter.
16-0.
16-0 with like 4.5 minutes to halftime. The Tide has the football, though. They're moving down the field. Or are they? It's just, I'm so ready to be like, the era of Nick Saban is over.
But Joey, they beat Auburn last year, so. Right. You know who else could have beat Auburn? Any high school team here in town could have beat Auburn.
Right.
A couple junior high school teams could have beat Auburn.
Like, good for you. Now, by the way, I love that with the rivalry. It's like, if you win, it's like the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
If you lose, like, who cares? Nerd.
Oh, of course.
Like, you
I wasn't even watching.
What? Did you even go there? Yeah.
Right. That's how you do it. You have to instantly bring them down. You're not bothering me.
And if you're wondering, folks, we are live.
Yeah, it's a live show today.
And as you can tell, you know, there actually are plenty of stories out there. But I'm more in the mood of it's New Year's Eve here in the Gump, and let's celebrate a crazy year and a great year ahead.
There's some lame stories out there, Joey. Lame.
Well, this one caught my attention. Taliban leader bans windows in residential buildings. Would you like to know the reason?
Yeah, I'd like to know his reason.
Yeah, because you're in the real estate market.
Yeah, I mean,
he is banned. The Taliban leaders banned windows in residential buildings
for better privacy.
The quote here is, "Women must not be seen inside homes."
Yeah, I'd really like to go there, but that's just... Why can't you see them inside the home? How do you know if they're working? How do you know if they're doing the dishes?
Buildings should not have windows looking into places where women could be sitting or standing. Either's a problem.
Is he that scared
a
of
woman
women?
sitting, or maybe they're just that ready to go. What a crazy.
Did you see her cankle? It's so hot.
Right. No, men are pigs, folks. It's like
100%.
Because now nothing is left to the imagination. No. Like everybody's naked. Like who doesn't have an OnlyFans at this point? It's like good. You have body parts that people like.
You make any
good
money
for you
off your OnlyFans?
No. Like everybody else, I'm not in the Pareto distribution has not been my friend.
No, I'm getting tired of paying $12 a month. Nobody's on my OnlyFans.
But imagine we were in a true, like the Victorian era or like puritanical in some way. And guys would be like, hey, dude, I got a glimpse of her neck.
Oh, can you imagine back in the day?
Mm-hmm. Like men are just that way. And honestly, I don't, I say it with disdain, but I am a man and I'm like, yeah, this is how we are.
Men are pigs.
Like you can control it somewhat, but
let's not discount the women now. There's a lot of.
I know.
Okay.
And in fact, I think women think way too little of men because I think there's only the pig dynamic.
Right.
There's also the we're thinking about the Roman Empire dynamic, which is not exactly wholesome. I'm saying it's like we're not just thinking about you in sex. We're also thinking about if you had brought an M16 back in a time machine, could the South have won the war between the states?
Good question, Joey.
How many special forces could take on an entire Roman legion? Like these questions we
Could
ask
you beat
ourselves.
up 8-year-olds?
Oh yeah.
See, everybody says that.
You don't think so? That would be I even hate to say yes, and
Do
I'm
I
not
get
a
to-
fighter.
Do I get to pick the 8-year-olds? Because I don't know if you've seen some of these high school guys lately that are 6, 8, and in 10th grade.
8-year-olds.
8-year-old. Can you beat 8-year-olds?
Well, the trick is you have to move swiftly. You can't stay in one spot. That's
Right.
when they get behind you, hit the knees, hit the
Right.
ankles.
Well, they just surround you and then take you down like ants.
Right. That's why you have to move. You have nimble feet. It's like a good boxer.
Okay.
Like you have to have some great movement and agility there. And you take down one very quick.
Well, you have to make an example. You have to set an example very
like
quickly.
Throat punch.
Yeah. Now, what about, okay, so you feel confident with 8-year-olds. What about 4 midgets?
Actually, no.
Right. They will whoop you like there's no
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Because they're thick, they're like dense and very strong.
They will stand on each other's shoulders and beat the crap out of you, Joey.
Yeah, no, like do
I've
not
seen the
underestimate little people. Now, you could ask what type of dwarfism, but if you're thinking kind of a standard, you
I've
better
seen
watch
a lot
out.
of the wrestling ones, man, and they have superhuman strength. Let's just say that.
So the guy's name who's running the Taliban right now is Hibatullah Akhundzada.
What do they call him for short? Hibba?
Hib.
Hib.
What's up, Hib?
There you go, Hib. I got that.
He's the leader of the Taliban. He ordered the building should not have windows looking to places where women could be sitting or standing. The order applies to both new buildings and existing ones.
Oh, crap.
According to a 4-clause decree posted on X. See, everybody's on X, even the Taliban.
Even the Taliban?
A decree posted by government spokesman Zabihullah Mashahid on X states that new buildings should not have windows where you can see the courtyard, kitchen, neighbor's well, and other places usually used by women. Seeing women work in kitchens, in courtyards, or collecting water from wells can lead to obscene acts. What?
Really?
Why not control yourselves? Like, why not control yourselves a little bit?
I've never mind.
The decree stipulates that in properties with windows that do not fit the new guidelines, owners will be urged to either construct a wall or block the view to avoid nuisances caused to neighbors.
Hey, Joey, let's go sell them some window tint. We'll make millions.
Yeah.
We'll make millions.
How'd you make your how'd you make your million? Who's been sold tent to the Taliban?
Window tint. They came up with a new law, especially for me.
Actually, the blackout windows are still a big thing here in Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure there's some like local business that does that here.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
It's like, dude, we know some people in the contractor world. Let's just give me a percent. Just give me 1% of the earnings
Sure.
if I make this connection.
Sure.
Because,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to help the Taliban. I highly disagree with them. Like, I think that's absurd.
I
Like,
think
did
it's
you see
ridiculous,
that?
but if that's the worst law they're going to come up with, okay, I think it's ridiculous, but that's fine.
So, sir, why did you sexually assault that woman? She was getting water from her well
She was teasing me.
by pouring that water in a bucket.
She was washing dishes as I looked through the window.
Wow. What a mess. Like,
But-
there for 20-something years.
How long has that country been around? Thousands upon thousands.
And it's the graveyard empires.
How is this?
Soviets couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
The British Imperium couldn't handle it. Alexander couldn't handle it. I mean, there's been many attempts to rein that in.
But how are they so far behind the rest of the world where they're at a point where women, you can't even look at a woman?
See, but I imagine those guys don't feel like they're behind, that they're speaking the truth.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
But I know I've met people like that. And what they say in public and what they do in private is so
Right.
opposite.
Yeah, women in Taliban-ruled Afghanistan are currently prohibited from going to a salon, working out at the gym, and even speaking or praying in public. Holy moly.
Wow.
Within a month of claiming Kabul, the Taliban's education ministry banned girls and women from schools.
Wait a minute. They were very specific. They said they weren't going to do that.
Yeah, well, they were lying.
Mm.
The Taliban leaders also announced that girls were barred from studying beyond the 6th grade, with the ban extended to colleges and universities in 2022.
So why do you keep your women stupid? What's the point of that, Joey?
To keep them from making you feel inferior, I suppose.
That's
nuts, man.
That is pathetic.
No, and this is what I mean, that we're barely above our animal instincts. And if you don't have the culture, the tradition, the just reinforcement, you might be amazed at the awful things you could do. And you would think, not only are you doing awful things, you think it's God's work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So what a, great victory for the United States.
I bet they don't let men play in women's sports over there, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, because they don't have women's sports. So.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. We solved that problem. Yeah, maybe we should go ask them about transgenderism.
Some advice on that, Joey.
Goodness gracious. 272-9228. Hey, we already got a call rolling in. You're on there. Who's this?
Well, I see I don't have anything better to do either.
Oh, wait. Hold on. Hold on, Papa B. The Tide has scored a touchdown. With less than 2 minutes left, and the Michigan Wolverines have the ball, so they might score again.
2 minutes left in the game.
No, in the half.
In the half.
Oh, yeah.
16-7, Michigan.
They could turn it around,
Oh, there's no doubt.
Not unheard of.
I don't know if you've seen some of these bowl game scores, but they're not good until the last 3 or 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. And I've seen some teams go down or be down by 2 touchdowns, and all of a sudden you come back and they're tied at the end of the game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, I think one thing that goes on in the bowl games is, those starters are like, dude, I've got a multi-million-dollar contract waiting on me at the end of this game. I don't want to risk it. And you can see it happening, man.
Oh, yeah, there was one player already.
And I can't blame them. Who can blame them, really?
There was a player a couple days ago. They needed him to go in, and he just nah,
I
I'm good.
saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And not the first one.
Not the first one, won't be the last.
I can't blame him at all.
At that point, you kind of think of yourself as an investment, don't you?
Right.
Oh,
yeah. You're talking about a career-ending injury at any moment in a brutal game.
Yep.
And you're going to stop put your whole life on hold and indefinitely because of that. I don't know, man.
I know.
So, and as much as I admire Nick Saban, yada, 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 don't you ever be thinking or given the notion that Saban did not have the formula for making sure that his players got paid through the Red Elephant Club all these years. Now,
wait, you saying they paid players?
He never got busted, so I can't accuse him of it. He didn't get busted.
No. Not only did they were able to disallow other teams. I mean, you couldn't get a paper cut at Auburn without going on probation. Are you crazy? I mean, anything. But when Nick Saban got there, he made the announcement, and I saw it the day he got the news conference. He said it out loud. The Red Elephant Club is back in business. No, Nick Saban didn't pay players. All he had to do is pick up the phone and say, I want this one, I want that one, I want this one.
Plausible deniability.
That's all they had to do. Yeah. So don't let me disabuse anybody. And that's one thing that gets me about a lot of the Alabama players. They were like, oh, no. It's just because of this great program, this great coaching, blah, 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 blah. Are you crazy?
Yeah, but at the same time, Nick's not the only one that was doing it. I think it's been an ongoing deal. It just, at the end of the day, I hate him because he kicks our butt every year. All the coaches do it.
It was ongoing for a long time, and especially in the successful programs over the last 20 years. But before that, it was going on.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think I told you guys, I have a cousin that was on one of the Auburn teams. It was a tight end during the Bo Jackson era.
Yeah.
And every weekend, it was somebody's birthday.
Of course.
Somebody was going to have a birthday. And they would bring in a cake as big as a conference table. And this is based on what he told me. Every slice, a big old slice of cake, had $100 bills rolled up in it. But on top of cake, was the cake for the birthday boy. It was a very special cake. And what do you know? It just happened to be the player of the week, which I guess Bo got a lot of different birthdays.
Oh, no doubt.
You know?
I don't think he had to ever walk
There's
anywhere.
1,000 different ways to get players' money now. What is it called? The NIL, the portal, whatever it is. That has made things all legal now. So, guess what? Some of these teams that had an advantage there, Alabama, Clemson Tide, they don't have that advantage anymore. And I think if Nick Saban were honest about it, he saw that he was not going to be able to produce or, acquire and keep the talent like he had been doing. Now, if it comes right down to it, I think that's what you'd find. Now, that does not say that he didn't have a great program and didn't do all kinds of things great, but it still does not belay the fact that that talent did not have to sit on the bench this year the way they could just go this same year, and go play at Auburn or some of these other teams. Anyway.
Well, and before you move on, I'm sure you saw and this made me so happy because, again, I love the comedy boom in this country where comedians are big guests on things like...
You like when Shane was on there?
Shane Gillis on College Game Day.
You called him a cheater earlier. I was just joking around. I don't think the SEC paid players ever. Period. I'm joking. Is this not a fun show?
Nick Saban boy looks.
Alabama Jones is very serious.
This is terrible.
I do believe in integrity. Run the program that way so players have a better chance to be successful. Money in the NFL than any other school, 61 players. That was how we cheated. We developed players.
That was so funny.
I think he snuck in there. He called him Alabama Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the next day, Nick Saban came out with a comment about it. You could tell it kind of stuck in his craw a little bit, which is, and Shane Gillis was like, I'm sorry, man. I'm just making a joke.
It's not a fun show.
Whatever. And, hey, one thing that really got me, I swear. I mean, I'm not going to say Auburn has just bad of fans, okay? They do. It's true. But the night that Ben Laden got killed, they had that big old rally at the White House. Right? You remember seeing that? There was a big bunch of folks out there celebrating Ben Laden. And in the crowd, somebody shouted, "Roll Tide!" And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. What? This ain't no end to this terrible disease that these people suffer from.
I do that all the time just to make Alabama look bad. If you ever hear Roll Tide out in the crowd and you're like, this is not that moment, it was me.
Well, and if you see,
me,
if you're hanging around with the dudes and maybe even the women are around, they just don't know the code yet. Well, they probably know. They just pretend like they don't know. And you see like a dime piece, like just fireworks on the floor. The woman walk by, scantily clad. Men will look at each other and go, "Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Mm-hmm. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll Tide. Roll Tide."
Yep.
And some of them may never see the inside of mine, then you stadium, I will promise. It's crazy. But anyway. All right, guys. Well, thanks for letting me call in. I appreciate y'all being on. I'm going to go home and take a nap here in a little bit. I don't know about y'all.
Well, Happy New Year.
Have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Papa B.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Sweet Creek Farm Market. And there at Sweet Creek, go see Reed Ingram and the team. Whether you're looking for a great lunch, like some barbecue or some like a sandwich, like one of those really piled high sandwiches, or like a big old cookie.
I would love one of them hubcap cookies, the swamp cookie, because it's got everything, Joey. It ain't just like a chocolate chip or oatmeal. It's all that in one.
Yeah, it sounds, well, I don't need to know just how it sounds. I've eaten several.
Well, it's even
I'm
better
trying to pretend like I hadn't gotten fat.
if you go there and you get a scoop of ice cream put on your cookie.
Exactly. Or you could just be like, hey, I want to take the kids to a great place where they can play, run around, plenty of room.
Chickens.
It really is a great family spot, huge playground. And yeah, the chickens are out there. I think they got a peacock out there too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. You don't always see it, but
You'll hear them.
oh yeah. But so maybe you can just get a coffee, let the kids play, or it could be you want to, like, pecans. Could be you want special jams, jellies, and preserves. Could be you want unique Alabama-made goods, whether you're talking fun knickknacks or you're talking some of those food products. Of course, they have a beautiful atmosphere there. Great food, whether you're grocery shopping or looking for something novelty, like we were saying. So y'all go by Sweet Creek Farm Market today. For lunch, for dinner, they do it right. They're just 2 miles south of Taylor Road on Highway 231. And be sure to find Reed Ingram there, or his lovely wife, Karen. Find Reed or Karen Ingram there at Sweet Creek. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's hit a break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-488-2594. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-488-2594. That's 800-488-2594. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. 2024 comes to an end on a mild note today. Cooler air is on the way as the new year begins. Today, partial sunshine, then mostly sunny later. Comfortable today with a high up to about 69. Not bad. Mostly clear tonight on this New Year's Eve night. 45 at midnight. Overnight low 38. New Year's Day, sunshine, noticeably cooler, high 57, down to sub-freezing 30 on Wednesday night, and still in the 50s on Friday and Saturday with more sun, colder Saturday and Saturday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations since we began in 1906. At CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Park.
Welcome back. Played this for you, Eddie. I know it's one of your favorite songs. Keep going. Oh, yeah. Okay. Really
Just always, I see Celine coming out on stage and greeting her fans. Got that long, flowing dress on.
What about somebody doing a spacewalk?
That'd be pretty cool too.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say. Thank you for that.
I'm sorry. That one didn't enter my mind. It was more of a Celine.
I don't know. I think that's
Maybe I got a problem with Celine.
I was about to say that's a you problem.
Maybe
I think secretly deep down you love Celine Dion.
Celine Dion reminds me of one of my sisters, and there's 5 of them, and she's the oddball.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has red hair except for her.
So you're telling me you'd never been out on the boat when it's a little too cold, so the wind's nipping your nose and all this stuff, and you're blasting out of the speakers some Celine Dion making wake.
Oh no. Donna Summer. Yeah.
Donna Summer?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Constantly. A little ABBA. Okay.
Oh, okay, racist. Didn't know you're a member of Al Qaeda. Why don't you just go join the Taliban?
They won't have
fan of ABBA.
Apparently there's
you know about their racist history, right?
No, they're just ABBA. How can they be racist? They're
look at
white blonde people.
I know, yeah,
with blue eyes. How can they be racist? That's white, blonde, blue eyes. What's racist about that?
You got to read in between the lines. It's always like put up there as like a love song or a fun song, but then like listen to Super Trooper or The Winner Takes It All, and you'll see there's all these subtle undertones of like superiority.
What about the Bee Gees? I dig the Bee Gees. Or something.
No, they're cool.
Okay,
they're down with the culture.
Love some Bee Gees.
Yeah, the Bee Gees are cool. One guy who's not down with the culture, and by the culture I mean the culture of Washington D.C. in this context, is this guy from Tennessee, Tim Burchett.
Yes, I know who you speak of.
He's great. He really is great. And he just puts it down where the goats can get it. And I also don't think he cares if he makes certain people, let's say,
his people love
angry.
Him. Yeah, his people love him, so he don't care.
Right. So this is a very short clip. There's a longer interview we could play of him talking about how everybody up in D.C. is compromised.
Yeah.
But I want to play the money clip first. This is Burchett talking about Mike Johnson becoming Speaker of the House again. And Donald Trump has, of course, endorsed Mike Johnson. And I think it's because Trump doesn't want a frickin' train wreck right out the gate.
Right out the gate. You're exactly right. I think he's temporary, though, at best.
Right. No, and all this infighting, I'm like, when is Daddy coming home?
Are you calling him? Hurry up, Daddy.
Come on.
Hurry up.
Get on home. No, now I'm thinking of that. Who's the band? Or is it Ozzy? No, it's not Ozzy. It's Mama, I'm Coming Home.
Mama, Come Home.
That's Ozzy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of Trump singing that.
Mama,
Mama, I'm coming home.
But who's Mama? U.S.?
I don't know. That's a good question, and that actually gets to the heart of this clip from Tim Burchett. Talking about Mike Johnson, he's actually saying Mike is one of the most honest guys he's met in Washington, D.C.
Really?
But Burchett is not down with the larger culture, and in fact, Johnson doesn't fit that larger culture in Washington, D.C. It's subtle, but it's quite a dig by Congressman Burchett.
Mike's been a good friend to me, and there's nobody more honest that I've ever dealt with in Washington. I mean, he is a fine Christian man. He's not a religious man. He's a Christian man, and he doesn't cheat on his wife. And I find that very appealing in Washington, D.C.
Now that's a damn good way of calling people out without really calling anybody out. But I think he's right. So I've heard that. I don't live in D.C. I've visited a few times, and there is a vibe up there where you could see how you're there, you're working long hours. It's a bunch of smart folks. It really is like ambitious people. Like there's a sort of drive and energy to that town.
Mm-hmm.
So you could see like, yeah, I get it, I guess. I don't agree
it's a
with
vibe.
it.
I know the vibe.
But you got to wonder, like, who's he talking about?
Everyone but him.
I don't think everyone. I don't want to think everyone.
I wouldn't think everyone, honestly, but I would say I would give it a good 88%.
88%.
88%. I feel very comfortable in that number.
88% cheat on not just their wives, on their spouses. Because again, it's not just men are pigs, it's that power corrupts.
Well,
so it's men, it's women, whoever's in power's got that vibe, that energy going on. Sometimes they step out.
But I will say, out of that 88%, I would say there's a big chunk of that that's consensual.
Of course. Yeah. She knows what I do.
Yep. Or he knows what I do.
It's kind of sad, though, ain't it?
Very.
Just the way you said that. Very. Very,
I
very
disapprove.
sad. All these people, all these adulterers.
They are.
But here's more of the full interview with Burchett. It's pretty good stuff. Let's listen in.
Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you, first of all, for being here. You know, you've said that you supported the House Speaker that because...
By the way, I love that Fox has got the JV team in now, like all
Everybody's
the
on
main
vacation.
hosts. So who's this Chrome Dome?
Trying to make his name, man.
Yeah, I know. Like, and I remember some of these people in years gone by, and they've done what, like Will Cain. I don't watch Fox a lot, or if any. Like, the only time I see Fox is
here
when it's on the TV here. I literally do not watch. I tried even during the election. I'm like, I can't do this. All the commercials. Yeah. It's like, I've heard. I just talked about this all day today. Like, I know what y'all are going to say, yada, yada, yada. But you do see success stories. And I saw Will Cain. It's when Glenn Beck started The Blaze. He was working for Beck. And now Will Cain is doing quite well on Fox, and his podcast is great. He just always has really pressing questions, but done in a thoughtful, nice way. It's not gotcha crap.
Not a jerk.
So, you know, maybe this guy, this bald guy with the yellow tie, will be the next big thing. I don't know, but let's let him get a question out.
No one else is officially running, and now that President-elect Trump is behind him, is your mind solidified? Is he the guy?
Well, that weigh heavily on me, but ultimately I'll make up my mind Friday or so when we do the votes. I'll pray about it. My wife heard that I was going to be on Fox News, so she made me wear all my new Christmas stuff. She said she was tired of me looking like a hobo when I'd come on news with y'all. So I'm trying to up my image, but no, I'll make up.
He's wearing an outdoor jacket and a button. I
thought it was a members only jacket at first.
My new Christmas
Right,
stuff.
I'm like, bringing it back.
Wife tired of me looking like a hobo.
My mind sometime between now and then. I'll talk to the speaker some. I might talk to the president. President Trump is very compelling, though. As I've said earlier, he's the largest dog in the pound. There's nobody bigger than him.
Yep.
And I don't think too many people want to tangle with him, especially on this. And, you know, our members taking shots across the bow, some of us, that's just what the news does. You know, the legacy media, they try to tear the Republican Party down, but I'm hoping for some big things out of us this year.
Yeah, so your wife has great taste. She did a good job with the clothes. I have to say that. First, this is exactly what President-elect Trump. Right. This is exactly what President-elect Trump said on Truth Social. I want to read this so everyone can hear it. Speaker Mike Johnson is a good, hardworking, religious man. He will do the right thing and will continue to win. Mike has my complete and total endorsement. There's no ambiguity. Do you think now the House Speaker then will have enough votes on Friday? What do you believe?
I think he ultimately will. I think that the die has been cast pretty much. But as I stated, I'll make up my mind on Friday, and I'll talk to Mike some and maybe President Trump even and discuss some ideas and issues that I have. But Mike's been a good friend to me, and there's nobody more honest that I've ever dealt with in Washington. I mean, he is a fine Christian man. He's not a religious man. He's a Christian man, and he doesn't cheat on his wife. And I find that very appealing in Washington, D.C.
That's good. So let's look beyond that.
That guy's like, I want to know.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it. He's got too much Too much glare coming off that forehead.
You don't think? I think the bald thing works.
It does, but not that much glare. I'm watching it on my 70-inch TV. Yeah, you'll be all right. But you can't have that much glare. I'm watching on my 70-inch TV. I feel like I need sunglasses on. I'm not going to watch the guy. Need to put some, I don't know what it's called. Powder. Yeah.
Powder.
Some powder.
Why did you turn into a Bostonite?
That hat.
Yeah.
You got that Scully on?
I like these hats.
I know.
I like ball caps too. But anyway.
The House Speaker vote. The House is going to have an issue with the debt ceiling coming up. The debate to fund the government comes up again before March 14th deadline. So I spoke with Representative Kat Cammack about suspending the debt ceiling, and listen to what she said.
One, it's irresponsible. Two, it's not fair. And again, it is kicking the can down the road.
I agree with her there, but do you think she's guilty?
Yeah.
Really?
Dudes are chubby chasers.
We calling her chubby?
Nicely, yes. Being nice about it.
It is true. Plump.
She can be bought for a piece of cake.
What's that word? A bit zofty.
Nothing wrong with her now.
So in no shape, way, form, or fashion have I ever supported a debt ceiling being lifted, because it makes very little sense that we campaign on cutting the size scope of government, cut spending, but then we say, hey, let's get rid of the credit card limit in order to cut spending.
So what do you think about that? Republicans is the party of cutting spending, so just cut the spending and not reach the debt ceiling. What do you think about that?
I think it's a refreshing view. I don't think I've ever voted for a debt ceiling increase. You're seeing more money going up in debt than I'll earn this year by the time I finish this thought even. But every 100 days we add another $1 trillion to the debt. We better start taking it serious. As I said on X, I tweeted it that at Tim Burchett account had over 1 million views, that the problem's going to be with the votes in that room. It wasn't with Elon or Vivek. It was going to be the members having enough guts to do what's right and make those cuts. That remains to be seen. We do this every time. Everybody goes home and preaches to their people and throws out the red meat, and they come back to Washington and they sell our country down the river. I'm hoping that'll change, and I hope Trump cleans it up.
Well, we'll see. Me too.
Me too.
4 years from today, the national debt clock is now projecting 4 years from today, our national debt will be $51 trillion if nothing changes. Pretty crazy. Pretty
So what state
crazy.
are we selling? Or are we going to lease out?
No, we're just going to acquire more assets like Canada and Greenland.
Well, right now, that asset we've acquired, the yard, has no power. 1.2 million people over in the Dominican Republic have no power.
Or Puerto Rico.
I mean, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
No power. Out of 1.5, 1.2 have no power.
Yeah.
We don't need to be acquiring more assets just yet.
And on that note, Gary Garvin says, Happy New Year, bud. Well, Happy New Year, Gary.
Happy New Year, Gary. Hope
Great
you're feeling
guy.
all right, buddy. Love you, man.
Really good dude. Really, really good dude. Knock on Woodwork says, love y'all's show. Thanks for doing what you do. Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year right back at you.
Yeah,
Knock
right
on
back
wood.
at you.
And Romex Angler says, yeah, the guys had a rough start in the rain, but we still have 2nd and 30 to go. Well, no, and I'm eating crow. It's now 16-10 into halftime, and we see the update. Let's see. See how the Tide is doing.
Oh, we even had somebody that's come by the
Still
studio
halftime.
to-
Well, he's a Michigan fan.
Yeah, he's loving it.
He's from Michigan.
Yeah, he's loving it.
But, I mean, we'll see. That 16-0 looked a lot better than the
It did, but
16-10.
We'll see if they make an adjustment at the half, but it could go either way.
The Tide. It's just fun saying that. It really is.
Oh, you hear Row Tide in the damnedest of places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. War Eagle, you hear in the airport. Row Tide, you hear the damnedest of places.
Yeah, I remember. I've told you the story on a rainy game day in Tuscaloosa. First we got ponchos that were cheap, and I'm wearing pants.
There's an expensive poncho.
Well, but it was so cheap, like it didn't work at all.
It's a piece of plastic.
Yeah, I know, but it didn't work. It was so thin, like, and I was wearing pants, so it was just riding up my pant leg, all
that's
the water.
miserable, yeah.
And so then it's like, and I'm just hot now, and somehow I get separated from the group. And they took a full-on different turn. Around the quad there in Tuscaloosa, it's packed. So if you get separated, it's going to take a second.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around because I'm not that familiar. I think it's only my second time on the campus. So I'm trying to figure out, we're over by the sororities. Well, no, the new row, not the old row. I'm like, oh, my God. And I'm wet, and I'm an Auburn fan. I'm like, I don't want to be here. And I'm just visiting friends, and I'm just soaked to the bone at this point. And it's right where the quad is like catty corner to Bryant Denny. There's some guy on the corner, and he must be drunk, or maybe he's just always like this, and he's whipping a towel above his head, like the terrible towel for the Steelers, but he's just like a windmill above his head, and he goes, "You ain't having fun unless you getting wet," and he just kept repeating it, and I'm like, what is this fresh hell? Where am I?
You feel like you're on a set of a bad movie.
Yeah, where am I? Yeah, but then I went to a frat party that night.
Worked out.
Met a lady.
There you go.
And folks are like, "How did you do that?" I'm like, I have no clue.
That's most men in general.
Like, literally, there's a reason they call it getting lucky. Because most men have no clue what they're doing.
Nope.
This is why you can't have windows, ladies. It's so crazy.
I wonder what is the male-female population over there? Is it more female? Because like in Jamaica, it's 8-1.
No, but can you imagine being born into that world? Like, you're born into a prison.
No, in Turkey, we knew several people that grew up similar, I guess you'd say similarly, a lot different than we did. And again, what they portray, complete opposite of what they have on their mind.
Interesting.
It is.
Hey, this part of the program?
Yeah.
Brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder there at Dillon Rings.
Oh, Dillon Rings.
They will be back open on the 2nd.
Oh, cool.
They'll be back on the 2nd. And they're at Dillon Rings. They're a full-service jewelry shop, so they're ready to help you across the board from an amazing in-stock selection. So high-end jewelry, that really hard-to-find stuff, one-of-a-kind stuff, to everyday jewelry that's not going to break the bank or break your heart if you're out on the town and it breaks or you lose it in the ocean or something. But again, whatever your budget, they have the items that look beautiful, that you'll love to wear and sport around. Of course, they also can do repairs. We just had a good listener, Eric, say he's going to go by Dillon Rings for a repair job. And, of course, they can also do spa treatments. So maybe you have older jewelry that you love wearing, you don't want to get rid of, but you like that ring, for instance, to shine and shimmer like it once did when it was new. They can do that for you there. Of course, they can also do appraisals. If you have a piece of jewelry that's been in the family a while, you hadn't had appraised in the last 10, 15, 20 years, even the last 5 years, go get it appraised.
Maybe you got one for Christmas and you really want to see what the value is. Take it over there. Why not?
This is why we say full-service jewelry shop. And, of course, custom design work, second to none there by Josh Ryder. That man is a true artist, does beautiful work, and he's an easy guy to work with. If you can dream it, Josh Ryder can make it a reality. So y'all check him out today. You can always go to DillonRings.com or search for Dillon Rings on the Book of Faces or Instagram. That's DYLAN Rings. And, of course, you can always stop by when, they're back from their vacation.
That's right.
119 Brown Springs Road right here in Montgomery, just off Atlanta Highway near Taylor Road, the whole AUM complex. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. So we're keeping tabs on the tide. And
you saw it happen in South Korea? Kind of worn out for their president.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, that guy. He went for it and he really screwed up.
That's just a lot of how they do it. One of the biggest protesting nations in the world, South Korea. And when they put on a protest, I think we were there. Don't remember what they were protesting about. But they pretty much shut down the city we were in. And I don't remember it being, of course we're Americans, but it wasn't that big a deal, but we couldn't believe the participation. And they just all came out. Wow. If you can ever get that country on your side, you got everybody, man.
272-9228 if you want to get on this freewheeling conversation. I know most of y'all are watching the Tide right now.
No Tide.
So that's fine. But there's all sorts of things we can get to today. U.S. Treasury hacked by China in major incident.
I saw that, and when I saw it, I guess yesterday, it said, "This is serious."
I know.
So honestly, I had to laugh when you read a headline like that.
Trump imposes social media ban on all 24 cabinet picks. Interesting. Very interesting. Current affairs. that formerly prestigious rag,
Yeah.
they really step in it. Really step in it. Like ugly, stupid step in it.
Really?
Going after populism and the men in populism. We'll get to that for too long. Facebook Ray-Ban smart glasses is a new #1 bestseller. Fascinating.
Yeah.
I've seen them too. I haven't done a deep dive into what they actually can do though.
Yeah, I've seen them, and they now they look like normal glasses, whereas before you could tell something was up.
A Senator Whitehouse, I call him the fart sniffer. Just look at the man. He says the war machine should fight back against Trump. Really, Sheldon? Sheldon Whitehouse? Really?
Oh, Lord.
7 tons of cocaine found buried underneath a farm.
Where was that farm at?
I don't know. We'll get to it.
Okay.
And there's plenty more.
Road trip?
And there's a local story here. U.S. Senator Katie Britt becoming one of the most powerful senators in the Trump era, a report suggests. So that should be good. And, of course, some big legal stories to watch in Alabama in 2025. We'll get to all of that in the upcoming minutes and hours. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A team of U.S. investigators, including representatives from Boeing, have examined the site of a plane crash that killed 179 people in South Korea. Authorities, meanwhile, are conducting safety inspections on all Boeing 737 aircraft operated by that country's airlines. Russia launched an aerial attack on Ukraine, striking the capital and other regions with multiple missiles and drones, minutes after Ukraine's Air Force reported a ballistic missile threat overnight. At least 2 explosions could be heard in Kyiv. A blackout has hit nearly all of Puerto Rico as that U.S. territory prepares to celebrate New Year's. More than 1.3 million people are without power. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 136 points, the Nasdaq off 165. This is SRN News.
You know, as they say, one person's personal information is another person's treasure.
Exactly. That's why I use NordVPN every time I surf the web. Features like Threat Protection Pro safeguard devices from phishing websites and disable intrusive ads and trackers. Just check NordVPN.com, grab the deal, and see for yourself. NordVPN. Cybersecurity built for every day.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect prevents any attempts to steal your home, equity, and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word HOME to 94878. That's right, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. 2024 comes to an end on a mild note today. Cooler air is on the way as the new year begins. Today, partial sunshine, then mostly sunny later. Comfortable today with a high up to about 69. Not bad. Mostly clear tonight on this New Year's Eve night. 45 at midnight. Overnight low 38. New Year's Day, sunshine, noticeably cooler, high 57, down to sub-freezing 30 on Wednesday night, and still in the 50s on Friday and Saturday with more sun, colder Saturday and Saturday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
The lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Governor Kay Ivey has ordered that flags throughout Alabama be flown at half staff for 30 days in memory of former President Jimmy Carter. In accordance with her presidential proclamation, Governor Ivey issued the order to honor the service of former President Carter, who passed away on Sunday at the age of 100. Alabama music legend Hank Williams died on New Year's Day in 1953. Hank was just 29 years old. Although his life and career were brief, his powerful influence on music continues. The annual graveside memorial service that marks the 72nd anniversary of Hank Williams' death will be held tomorrow, January 1st, at Oakwood Cemetery, beginning at 10 a.m. Celebrate the new year in Wetumpka with the annual New Year's Eve fireworks show at Gold Star Park. This free event is perfect for families and friends to gather and ring in 2025 together. Arrive early and enjoy the scenic views of downtown Wetumpka before the midnight fireworks show over the Coosa River. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, Happy New Year. I'm Sky Mosley.
Put the power of Action 8 News in the palm of your hand. Download the free Action 8 News app to stay on top of breaking news wherever you are. Search for WAKA News in your app store to download the Action 8 News app today. Keep your family safe by watching Action 8 News. Look for 8 on your side consumer alerts with product recalls involving cars, food, children's toys, and other items in your home. 8 on your side, keeping you safe only on Action 8 News.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue. But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent. Aha! So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Oh, welcome back. Final show of the year, Eddie. I think it's been a pretty good year. You know, I mean, seriously, the whole election was crazy. Absolutely crazy. The primary was a little crazy with, like, you know, certain folks I think I just will never like.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nikki Haley.
Can't stand her.
Can't stand her at all. I loved seeing the rise of Vivek.
Oh, yeah.
Ramaswamy. I loved seeing Trump be like, why do I need to debate these losers? Because remember, it was Chris Christie in there.
Oh, yep. Yes, I do.
And Asa Hutchinson, right? Didn't he run?
Yep.
And all these folks are like, no, Trump's disqualified. It's like, shut up.
But at least they got out.
Yeah, well, Nikki
Nikki would not get out until her handler said, okay, it's time for you to leave the party now.
Mm-hmm. And then out of the primary, Trump comes across strong as new rope. Remember, they raid Mar-a-Lago with the FBI.
Yeah.
They charge him with all these different crimes in different jurisdictions to try to tie him up and ruin him that way. All of this only makes people rally around Donald John Trump more.
Oh, yeah.
Then there's that first debate with Biden that we went over yesterday. Oh, you beat Medicare. Who grabbed my pants?
I'll beat you on the course.
I'll take that deal if you carry your own bag. Joe, I've seen your swing, and okay, sure. Then out of that, what people like Vivek and many others were predicting, Biden's ousted.
Yep.
It's almost like a bad fever dream that Kamala Harris was even a thing.
I would have still loved to hear that conversation that they had to say, where they finally said, okay, we'll take her. Because that was not the original plan.
And think about this, stat just came out today. In her home state, which is California, she got 2 million fewer votes than Biden. In her home state.
It doesn't surprise me, though.
No, because people knew her.
Yes. And she wasn't legally, and as far as I'm concerned, nominated to run.
Right.
I don't care if you're a Democrat and you tote the party line, that had to be a slap in your face.
Right.
Had to be.
You remember when they first handpicked her coordinator, the insiders, the machine, undemocratically picked the Democratic nominee?
Yes.
And how it was like, it's gonna be Brat Summer. The joy. So much joy. And honestly, for a second there, and folks were like, well, and Trump doesn't know how to hit her because she's a woman and she's a woman of color, and Trump doesn't understand how to even attack her and go about this whole thing. And then, well, the assassination attempt happens. I think that changed everything. I think that really was the day he won the election.
Yep, no doubt. And I think we called it that day as well.
Well, and I love, again, that the standard things that you think is going to take out a candidate actually just became an internet meme.
Yeah, but Joey, a bullet usually does it.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the debate.
Oh.
Where he just all of a sudden, in the middle of being interrupted and having to do the 3-on-1 against David Muir and the team, and with Trump goes, look, they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs.
It's a great song.
And I have to say, in the moment when I'm watching that, I'm like, what? I just started
Everybody
laughing.
did. Everybody thought, oh, God, he lost it. Oh, God, here we go.
They're
here we
eating
go.
the cats.
Yep. Everybody did.
And then it became the internet meme of the century.
Yep.
Even a lesbian theme for some on TikTok.
Yes.
You can put 2 and 2 together.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, what? We're a serious nation. And people are just dancing to We're Eating the Cats, We're Eating the Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
You had the cats and dogs. Remember all the series of videos of the cats and dogs listening to Trump say that? They get this wild side eye and all this stuff.
I remember all the denying. That's not happening. That's not happening. And then 2 days later, here's a report of police actually going out.
Yeah, well, but this is the problem that she was an American.
If you read the fine print, you notice that, Joey.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's the issue. Then there's the search for anybody eating cats and yada yada.
Oh yeah,
yada.
yeah.
And then there's the whole Tony Hinchcliffe thing with the garbage in Puerto Rico, and then that turns into Biden calling Trump supporters trash or garbage, and then Trump showing up in a garbage truck all of a sudden, wearing the garbage vest at his rally. Trump working McDonald's.
Oh yeah,
that
was the trolling king right there.
My God, that was amazing.
He wasn't really working it. It was just a setup.
Would you like extra salt? I love salt. Would you like little extra there? No, he's a natural. He's a natural. And so to see that, no, we weren't crazy. Well, maybe we are, but a lot of Americans are now liberated from the old media machine. Now, that doesn't mean we're out of the woods. Doesn't mean bad things won't happen. It just means the old school way, the tired way, the fake way we have been doing things for so long is now seen as all those things by the vast majority of Americans.
Well, it's just typical American A here. I see a glimmer of hope that I didn't see when we had Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And that glimmer of hope, if as far as I'm concerned, and I could have been wrong, but if we would have taken anybody but Trump, I just didn't see a path forward. And the day Trump won that election, and it was not just me, but so many other people, we stayed up that night because the last time we went to bed, he was winning. We woke up, he had lost. None of us were they were going to cheat. They were going to do it right in front of our eyes. And that was a huge turning point for me because I really thought I was the only one watching. And then I get on my phone and everybody's watching.
Yeah. No, and you remember I'm watching. And as soon as they announced him to come up on stage and speak his acceptance speech, that's when I fell asleep.
That's when most people,
because I think it was just
okay.
like, oh.
Right. It was that sense of relief of okay.
And then you see how astounding the victory is. Like how big it is even in blue states. Like even states he didn't win, the amount of votes that shifted his way. The red shift is remarkable.
No doubt.
And I think a lot of that has to do, again, with this new media era that we're in. And I'm here for it. I'm happy for it. Now, Trump is also wise about this. I think this Susie Wiles, who's going to be the chief of staff, Trump team orders all intended nominees to stop posting on social media ahead of Senate confirmations. Shut up. You're not some independent contractor. Shut up on social media. But the chief of staff, Susie Wiles, sent a message Sunday ordering nominees to refrain from any posting on social media as Senate confirmation hearings are scheduled to start next week. While this instruction has been delivered previously, I am reiterating that no member of the incoming administration or transition speaks for the United States or the president-elect himself, Wiles wrote in a memo obtained by the New York Post. Accordingly, all intended nominees should refrain from any public social media posts without prior approval of the incoming White House counsel. And, of course, folks will be like, what about Elon? He's not a cabinet member. This is why the choice, I think I called it, Vivek did not want to work.
Smart. You stay outside
Trump.
that system.
Right. They're both have these weird non-governmental advisory positions.
Yes, that's right.
And I think they made a smart choice in that regard. But I think I'm wondering, like, what, when she said, let me reiterate, I'm wondering, like, who said something? Was it Hegseth? Was it Bobby Kennedy? Was it Pam Bondi?
I think it's fixing, if it hasn't yet, tonight would be, Linda, excellent opportunity for people to say something stupid.
Did Linda McMahon say something? No. Of all people, Linda McMahon is the normal one of the family.
I see them doing it. I hate it because it's like, hey, we have to have controls over the idiots. And these are my idiots.
Listen to this, though. Like, the first female chief of staff, Susie Wiles, nicknamed the Ice Maiden, also noted that she appreciates how enthusiastic everyone is about joining the second Trump term in her otherwise frank directive. Trump's nominees have been silent ahead of what is expected to be a fraught process for some in the GOP-controlled Senate. If Democrats band together against any nominee's confirmation, Republicans can't afford to lose any more than 3 votes from their own conference. The Wiles memo, according to the Trump transition source, is not in response to recent social media ruckus caused by Doge, chaired by Musk and Ramaswamy over H-1B visas, that had the MAGA world spinning.
Not really.
No. I'm sorry, Steve Bannon and Jack Posobiec are not the MAGA world.
Well, no,
they are leaders in the movement. They have big microphones. I'm not denying that. But even like somebody like a Charlie Kirk isn't freaking out about this stuff. Come on.
Are you not allowed to have open discussions?
Right.
I mean, that's all. If that's the case.
Well, no, it's just that it's beyond like the leaders. There are a lot of folks that are, oh, you disagree with me on this thing. You're dead to me. There's a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you're a child. Grow up, Peter Pan.
Well, sometimes you say, thank you. I'm glad to be dead to you. Now leave me alone.
Doge is not an official entity, despite its name, and does not need Senate confirmation, meaning the tech moguls are free to convey their opinions online. Yeah, no kidding. It was a reminder of the guidance to intended nominees as confirmation hearings get underway next week. Several of Trump's cabinet picks have faced scrutiny in recent weeks, but only one, former Representative Matt Gaetz. And from AG to your own show on OAN. About the same, right?
Okay.
It's a shame, though. I wish he had fought it more. But it really would have been a circus.
Yeah. And I guess, lessons learned from the last go-round. Let's just get in there and get to work.
And apparently it was because there was a private Senate whip count showed he just didn't have the votes. So it's like, all right. Other picks needing Senate confirmation have held on despite waves of criticism, like Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, who I think does get through.
I think so.
But those who could face tough questioning are like Robert Kennedy Jr.
Kennedy's going to get it. He's going to get hit.
And Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah, because they're going to see her as a traitor, so they're going to try to rip her through the coals.
Yeah, but they brand everybody traitors.
They do.
That don't go along with the program. It's just
and I think
absurd.
More and more people are going to fall out from that program. Because the American people just, at the end of the day, didn't support it, obviously. And most of these people want to get reelected, do they not, Joey? That's their whole life, is I must get reelected. I'm curious to see how many of them kind of lose that hard edge and kind of soften things up so they can get reelected.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But I think both of our senators are on board. I think they're on board after meeting with most of these nominees. Both Tuberville and Britt seem to be on board. And that brings me to a write-up by Craig Munger.
Oh, yeah?
Is it Munger or Munger? Or?
I'm going to go with Craig. It's a Monger. Monger, just straight up Monger.
of many things. So you can't say he's a fishmonger. You can't say
he's a monger of many things. Hogmonger. Yeah.
Sourdough monger.
There you go.
That's really his wife.
Yeah.
Anyway, Craig Munger writes, citing politicos and leaders on Capitol Hill, the nonprofit news organization Notus, Notus, recently hailed Alabama's junior U.S. Senator Katie Britt as a young rising star of the Republican Party, slated to be a key advisor to President-elect Donald Trump in his upcoming administration. Britt received Trump's endorsement in her 2022 Senate bid after he rescinded his endorsement for her opponent and former MAGA loyalist Mo Brooks. Britt initially declined to endorse any candidate before the 2024 Republican primary, saying her appointment to the GOP Advisory Council was conditional on her remaining neutral. However, 3 months before Alabama's March primary, Britt came out in full-throated support of the now president-elect. Britt took office in January 2023. Since then, she had made waves as a staunch Trump ally leading up to his November election. The two shared passing compliments after an Alabama Supreme Court in vitro fertilization ruling, with Trump crediting Britt for educating him on the importance of IVF. She's got a very good relationship with him, and I look forward to seeing that continue to grow, said U.S. Senator Pete Ricketts of Nebraska. According to Notus, Britt's strength lies not only in her relationship with fellow Republicans, but also in the relationship she's made across the aisle. Our politics are different. That's not a weakness. U.S. Senator John Fetterman. Go visit a guy in the hospital. He's going to love you. Like, what? You're talking? You came to visit me?
Did you bring some outside food?
It just means that we disagree, Fetterman went on. She's a quality human being, and that's the kind of people that we should be involved in this. Again, some common sense from Fetterman. Yeah. Republican lawmakers told Notice that Britt has gained respect among Senate colleagues, citing her role as chief of staff to predecessor Richard Shelby. Good old Dick Shelby. Her former position under Shelby led outgoing U.S. Senator Mitt Romney to say Britt had an outsized influence on decision-making in our caucus. Thank you, Mitt. U.S. Senator John Kennedy from Louisiana said, when Katie has something to say, I think we all listen carefully. So that's a high compliment. Joan Reynolds, vice chair of the Alabama Republican Party, also told Notice that the senator would certainly have Trump's ear in the upcoming Trump administration. Well, I think Tuberville's up there, too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, very much so. It depends on the issue, of course. But I think both our senators are in the right position heading into 2025 in this brand new Trump administration. This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing. And they're at Cole Plumbing. They're ready to help you with any and all of your plumbing problems, whether you have something like a big leak. They have proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you in your home to get in there and solve that leak. Could be like other companies just can't find it. And they're tearing out drywall.
Yeah, they're tearing up your house looking for a leak, right?
Or digging a trench in your yard.
Busting up concrete.
It's like, how long are you going to have that backhoe back there?
Right.
Daggum, man. A bobcat, really?
Oh, tearing up your yard, man, making ruts. And now water's going to flow different ways.
Yeah.
Pro, man.
They don't do that with Cole Plumbing.
Nope.
They, with this proprietary pipelining technology, solve the problem without doing all that. And of course, they can help you with everyday problems from clogged drains to low water pressure to maybe you want to upgrade to a tankless water heater system or new accessories in the bathroom. Could be you're getting up there in age. Those knees and hips don't work as well. Yep. So why not get a taller toilet so it's less of a chore to sit on the commode? It's actually a pretty nice thing to have. Like once you're like, oh, wow, that's actually
a big
easy.
Difference.
And you don't want that to be a chore. Mm-mm. So the point is, Cole Plumbing does it all. Call them today at 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl,
call on Cole, Joey.
Now, it does seem like history might repeat itself, maybe not in the same exact way. Dr. Leanne Wen.
I get you.
You probably remember this woman from the COVID era. She is talking about this new bird flu thing.
Oh, yeah, trying to get us to mask up again.
And also, not just mask up, Eddie.
Oh, no.
It's not just about masking up.
Oh, no.
It's also about an H5N1 vaccine.
Oh, there we go. Got to have the salesman in there.
So let's listen into this woman.
Biden administration right now that isn't going on?
Yeah, there are two main things that they should be doing in the days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it.
Okay, the way she talks makes me want to kill myself.
Oh, there's a lot of things that makes me want to do, yeah.
Like, it'll just keep going.
We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, with the clinicians taking care of them so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? I mean, that's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available so that at least it empowers state and local health officials. And
you know where she was born?
Where?
China. Not being racist, I looked it up.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. That really, we're still doing this. Who believes that sort of pablum now?
Well, here's the problem, and we go back to the press. If someone came on here and they started spewing that crap, I would hope someone would go, this sounds a lot like the crap you spewed before.
Yep.
Oh, wait, you're pushing a vaccine. How much are you getting out of this vaccine? Call these jerks out. Or just ask them the question. You ain't got to call them out. Just ask them the question.
Well, one of the guys who was a huge skeptic of the entire COVID regime was, and he's gained a lot of followers, Dr. Peter McCullough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's more in common than we think, Eddie. Peter McCullough is going to explain.
Okay.
We already got the vaccine ready. We need to push this out and all the testing and blah, 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 blah. I would love to see her have to sit across from Bobby Kennedy and actually debate things.
Oh, that'd be great, wouldn't it? That would be wonderful.
But here's Peter McCullough explaining there's more in common than you might think with this bird flu.
You know, bird flu or H5N1 influenza has been around for over 100 years, well documented in the scientific literature in the United States. The most recent outbreak, which is now 4 years old, we've published, McCullough Foundation has published with first author Nick Holscher, an epidemiologist, in the journal Poultry, Fisheries, and Wildlife Sciences, peer-reviewed journal, that the current strain of bird flu is a product of gain-of-function research done in the USDA Poultry Research Laboratory in Athens, Georgia. So it is a man-made problem that our farms are experiencing right now. It's in the peer-reviewed literature, and it's really, you know, the next steps in this outbreak is for people to understand, the ramifications of it personally and how to be prepared. It is. It's the circulating clade, which is the kind of the original source strain, is clade 2344B. And again, that is a product of what's called serial passage gain-of-function research done at the USDA Poultry Research Laboratory. It was assisted by University of Wisconsin School of Veterinary Medicine and Rotterdam University. The gain-of-function was to get it to spread from chickens into migratory waterfowl or mallard ducks. And so that's how it's spreading across the world now. It's been spreading for 4 years. It continually reinfects the farms because the mallard ducks fly around and they land in ponds on farms, and they easily infect the other animals on the farm. So it was able to, in a sense, expand the host range even into cattle and to sea mammals. Now, the good news is it's much milder than bird flu of decades ago. And then there's the peer-reviewed paper by Nick Holscher on this. And, and this has not been denied. by the USDA Poultry Research Center. McCullough Foundation attended the bird flu summits in both University of Arkansas as well as in Washington, D.C. So there's no denial of this. Just like COVID-19, the bird flu problem is a man-made problem by the U.S. government.
Good job, guys. I swear, it's stuff like that where I'm like, we are literally run by a criminal syndicate that uses democracy and the elected officials we have as front men and women for their criminality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's, gain of function. Oh, but we already have the vaccine ready to go. Just wheel it out. How much money you making, Dr. Leanne Wynn?
That's the one. Wow. That's what I'm saying, man.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. When I saw that today, I just shook my head. I don't think it will be like COVID, obviously, but it's just
every
too much.
week though. It's something else, man. Every week since COVID has officially been gone, it's something else you got to watch out for, and 90% of it's something they made.
Yeah. Now, of course, I'm not even going to play the clip. Dr. Leanne Wynn goes on to say, my colleagues in medicine are concerned about Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's an activist, not a scientist.
Follow the science, Joey.
Yes, because we're scientists, it means we're untouchable and we're allowed to lie to the public.
There you go.
And just have no moral restraints whatsoever.
Science.
But we get to do it with like all this. Okay. Just to reiterate the point, here's Bobby Kennedy being asked by NBC News about vaccines. Let's listen to what Bobby Kennedy actually has to say.
Been a crusader on questioning vaccines. Are there specific vaccines that you would seek to take off the market?
Oh, I'm not gonna take away anybody's vaccines. I've never been an anti-vaccine.
You will not take any vaccine that is currently on the market.
I'm not. If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. People ought to have choice, and that choice ought to be informed by the best information. So I'm going to make sure the scientific safety studies and efficacies are out there, and people can make individual assessments about whether that product is going to be good for them.
Would that include COVID vaccines that are currently on the market?
I want the best science for every vaccine.
It is.
So that's RFK when he was asked about it fairly recently about that. So I am going to play this woman, Leanne Wynn. Let's listen into this.
When Doctor, you talked about vaccines and testing in the context of bird flu and preparations. Therefore, vaccines and testings were part of the COVID conversation and the Trump administration when it was in charge. What level of concern do you have about some of the people appointed by President-elect Trump to incoming public health positions regarding issues of vaccine, testing, public health efficacy?
I think that there are some people coming into this administration who are very competent. For example, Dr. Marty McCary, a Johns Hopkins surgeon. We have worked together for the last 10 plus years on issues like hospital medical error. He's an independent thinker who really listens to science and is willing to change his mind when there is new evidence that emerges. But I have a lot of concern, and I've spoken to my colleagues in medicine and public health, and I think all of us share this concern, in particular about Robert F. Kennedy, the nominee to be the head of Health and Human Services. Kennedy has espoused many views in the past that are anti-vaccine. In fact, he's been one of the leading anti-vaccine advocates in the country, if not in the world, over the last couple of decades. He's also someone who has made his career from being an activist and not a scientist. And what I mean is that if you're a scientist, even if you have deeply held convictions, you should be willing to change your mind if there are new facts that are presented. It's a fact that childhood vaccines are safe and they are life-saving.
All of them? All of them?
Nope.
How do you account what studies have been done on long-term health effects?
None. That's why they have the vaccine court.
Well, and as a scientist, the facts help you change your mind. You just listened to RFK saying, I want people to be informed. People ought to have choice.
And that choice ought to be informed by the best information. So I'm going to make sure scientific safety studies and efficacies are out there, and people can make individual assessments about whether that product is going to be good for them.
Would that include COVID vaccines that are currently on the market?
I want the best science for every vaccine.
It is part of that. During the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, you were questioning the FDA and calling them out for approving the emergency authorization of the COVID vaccines. Yeah. If you had been in charge of the FDA at that time, would you have blocked the authorization of the COVID vaccines, like you were suggesting publicly?
What I was saying at that time is the vaccines are not going to prevent transmission, which they were telling the public that they would.
Yep.
They were saying, you need to take this vaccine in order to protect grandma. I knew in May of 2020 that the vaccines were not going to protect against transmission because I was actually reading the monkey studies.
But you would not have told the FDA. You would not have told the FDA to block the authorization of the
I would have been honest with the American people.
And so you wouldn't have blocked it?
I would have been honest with the American people now.
So you wouldn't have blocked it?
I wouldn't have directly blocked it. I would have made sure that we had the best science, and there was no effort to do that at that time.
Why was it such a big deal if he would say he would have blocked it?
Because it's a buzzword.
Right.
It's a particular frame, and it's how these corporate a-holes always do this. Thank God more and more people, not enough older folks, by the way, but thank God more and more people aren't buying this crap anymore.
Yeah, because with all the issues we've had with the vaccine, whether it works and whether it doesn't, the lies that we were told, the side effects, I don't see how anybody can defend it.
Right.
That's the part I don't get. How can they come out and defend it? And the fact that I still hear these commercials pushing the vaccine, that tells me, and you've said it before, this leadership is nothing but a bunch of mafioso.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because they will openly tell you, you're right. Yeah, you're right, guys. We're kind of going back on the vaccine, but let me play this new commercial that says you should get the vaccine.
And what's crazy is some of them, their conscience seems to tell them that they're saving the world.
But I think most of them know they're not.
Yeah.
They can, they're just choosing what side of their angel or devil they're listening to.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and their Pest Pro, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out when it comes to any and all of your pest control needs.
Oh, yeah.
It could be an emergency job. Like, it's no fun having ants in the kitchen.
It is no fun.
You're like, what the heck are these things? Is that a wood scorpion?
Oh, boy. Another thing. No fun.
Especially, as it gets colder, some of these little critters are trying to get inside your warm home.
Yep.
And Pest Pro can make sure that doesn't happen. So whether it's an emergency job you're reacting to or you're being proactive and you just want an everyday pest control company that can give regular visits, get to know you, your property, make sure you're jam up and jelly tight, as the song says.
Mm-hmm.
That number for Pest Pro, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. I'm like a dog with a bone at this point. Coming up, we have Tucker Carlson talking to one of RFK Jr.'s lawyers.
All right.
And so they say, no, the vaccines have saved lives, and he's against vaccine. He's against the polio vaccine.
Oh, there's some information.
Is there not any nuance to this? Any at all?
Some information.
Can we stop it with the high-stakes a-hole poker and actually have conversations? Hopefully, maybe.
I'd like to, but they want to keep these conversations from the general public.
Mm-hmm. With that, we'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your updated end-of-the-year market report for 2024. By the end of this year, the MLS in the River Region will have approximately 5,000 home sales closed. Almost 60% of all listings are selling on an average of 60 days or less, which is a good news for a seller and not surprising if you've been looking for a home lately. Predictions through Realtor.com about the coming year will be an overall better year for both buyers and sellers. To buy a home in this market, here's what you will need. Number one, a strong buyer advocate that will find a good selection of homes homes for you to view now. Number 2, someone with a strong negotiation background. 3, someone with over 47 years in real estate concerning contracts, financing options, and closing houses. For the best buying and selling experience, call the expert. Call Bo Goodson at 221-2883 or 551-0225. That's 221-2883, the Goodson Group.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
What'll it be, Joe?
Coffee and apple pie. Whoa, Madge, what was that?
The lights? Oh, they always dim when the dishwasher turns on.
You should call Crosby Electric.
You think?
Overloaded circuits at your business can be dangerous. The experts at Crosby Electric can upgrade your electrical service to safely handle the load. And they can add receptacles where needed to eliminate overuse of extension cords.
Madge, I'd like to pay you. The problem is it's so dark in here I can't read my bill.
No, the problem is you're cheap.
Well, that's a problem too.
Effective, attractive lighting is essential for any business. Crosby Electric can help with a new lighting scheme that will give your business a fresh, exciting look. And they can recommend outdoor lighting for greater safety and security.
That'll be $4.50 for the coffee and pie, Joe.
Well, don't I get anything for recommending Crosby Electric?
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Don't put off essential electrical upgrades for your business. Call 272-2085 or visit crosbyelectric.com.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Well, hi, everybody. 2024 comes to an end on a mild note today. Cooler air is on the way as the new year begins. Today, partial sunshine, then mostly sunny later. Comfortable today with a high up to about 69. Not bad. Mostly clear tonight on this New Year's Eve night. 45 at midnight. Overnight low 38. New Year's Day, sunshine, noticeably cooler, high 57, down to sub-freezing 30 on Wednesday night, and still in the 50s on Friday and Saturday with more sun, colder Saturday and Saturday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back.
What's the score of the Bama game?
16-10 last time I checked, which is about a minute and a half ago. So let's see where we're at. Yeah, looks like no change.
Romex Angler says, y'all don't worry yet. We still have the fourth quarter. Pro Tide.
That's all you got is fourth quarter.
He then goes on to say, the sun is out. Why all this hostility on New Year's Eve? You don't have to be alone tonight. There are parties all around. I would rather be alone. I won't be alone.
Trying to think New Year's Eve alone, if I ever had to do that. Yeah, Hyundai, working. Be by myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of peaceful. Honestly, now that I'm not there anymore. Christmas days working out there really wasn't that bad. Brought in movies. I brought in some snacks.
Right.
And hung out. The worst time is when I ran into somebody else. We both crapped our pants. But other than that,
No.
Yeah.
Hope you clean that up. Let's go to Aubie's girl. Hey, Aubie's girl.
Hey guys, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Now, Joey, you're probably too young to even know this or remember this, but back in the 70s, there was a movie made called Andromeda Strain. And it was about a virus that had supposedly landed here from outer space. So the government types get all these top scientists together and say, hey, we got to figure out why this is happening and how we're going to kill it, because it killed this town. And at the very end, the hero finds out that the government did it, just to see how they would react.
Mm-hmm.
But it's out there. I don't know if it's on video or not, but it's called Andromeda Strain.
Andromeda Strain. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, you'll like it. It's at the time, I thought, there's no way. But here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy the way more and more the mask is falling off of these centers of power, these institutions. And part of me is like, I'm happy the mask is falling off. I'm also sitting here wondering, okay, what's next?
I'm optimistic, and I really believe that it's good for the mask to fall off and for people to find out. We need to continue to expose all that has been going on in the last 4 to 12 years and what it's done to us. People are waking up, but we need to continue to keep putting it out there. But unless some people are held to account for it in some way, it will just continue on.
Yes, this is true.
And it went in. There's always going to be dishonesty in Washington, but it went into hyperspeed under Clinton, and it continued on.
Indeed. Now, before I let you go, Aubie's girl, what do you think of Alabama currently losing to the Michigan Wolverines?
Oh, well. Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry for that. Oh, goodness.
Wonderful.
Hey, it'll be a great year now that I heard that.
Well, Happy New Year, Aubie's
Happy
girl.
New Year.
You too.
272-9228. Line 3, you're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's Woody.
Hey,
y'all
Woody.
doing?
How you doing?
I just wanted to wish y'all a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, brother.
You got any
And,
big plans?
Not really. Just going and doing some singing. Don't be talking about bald-headed people like that.
I didn't know you was listening.
I was standing up for bald people. I was saying it looks good on some folks.
I looked around before I said the joke to make sure there wasn't no bald people around.
Like cue ball.
I've never heard that. I put suntan. I put dark suntan lotion on.
You better. You better.
Y'all have a good New Year. Y'all be safe.
You too, Woody. Thank you, man.
Love the show, man.
Appreciate it, Woody. Now, well, you're talking about the pain that that we are going to feel when our government starts revealing the truth to us. If Trump's, like he says he's going to, if he really releases JFK files, and we found out some things that we already think are true, how do you think the general public's going to react to that? I mean, we don't trust our government as it is. And so at what point do they come to us and go, okay, we're laying every card on the table. Now you have to trust us from here on?
I almost feel like a major terrorist attack would happen after that. Just, by
Just to make,
happenstance.
yeah. Right. That's how bad it is that we.
No, that's
these
what
are
happened.
third world country ideas, but it's happening here.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Now, here's the clip I was talking about before the break. This is Tucker Carlson sitting down with one of RFK Jr.'s lawyers. And they're essentially breaking down some of the games that are played by the New York Times.
Okay.
For instance, the New York Times purposely and knowingly told the country that RFK Jr. wanted to end the polio vaccine. Reality? This is RFK Jr.'s attorney, who also represents a client unrelated to RFK, who wanted to review one of the 6 polio vaccines, its licensing process, and its injection into children. The polio vaccine his client wanted to review was the iPol, which is an enhanced potency version of the inactivated poliovirus vaccine, licensed in 1990. Specifically, he wanted to explore the long-term effects on children. So let's hear this guy out. This was on Tucker Carlson's sit down.
Think as you speak, you were also suggesting what Bobby Kennedy might as lawyer. But you tell me.
So the New York Times did is they purposefully, knowingly misled the entire country into believing that a petition that I filed on behalf of a client, not my petition, my client's petition, not Mr. Kennedy, he was not the client. A petition I've never spoke to him about ever, nor did my client, sought to eliminate the polio vaccine. That was the headline. And therefore, because I'm Mr. Kennedy's lawyer. In some instances, my firm has almost 80 people. We have lots of clients, including Mr. Kennedy, many others. And because we filed this petition on behalf of a different client, nothing to do with him, that questioned one polio vaccine, by the way, and its licensed only has the children. I'll get into that. Somehow he wants to get rid of the polio vaccine. And they knew it was untrue when they published it for the following simple reason. First of all, and if they didn't know this, they're not fit to be a high school newspaper. Okay. One, the petition only sought review, and this is a petition to the FDA, only sought review as to one of 6 licensed polio vaccines, and only as to children. Why? What was the basis of the petition? Which, by the way, should have been the headline. This particular polio vaccine, licensed in 1990, not the Salk vaccine, it's not the Sabin vaccine, it's not the vaccine that you think of when you hear the polio vaccine, okay? This vaccine was based on a novel technology. You need to grow a virus in some kind of cultural medium. Here, they use something called vero cells. These are chromosomally modified monkey kidney cells that are rendered immortal. Just like cancer cells. That means they'll grow forever, just like cancer cells. And they end up as an ingredient in every single vial. The clinical trial relied upon to license this brand new novel polio vaccine in 1990, reviewed safety for literally 3 days after injection. 3 days. That sounds incredible. It sounds like it cannot be true, but it is on the FDA website. On behalf of my client, we FOIA'd the FDA for all the clinical trial reports for the summary basis of approval. We tortured them for years, basically saying, come on, there's got to be more than this. You license it based on 3 days of safety review in the clinical trial after injection with no control group. There's no way you could know the safety of this product before you license it to be injected.
No control group.
There was no control group.
Isn't a control group a prerequisite for a scientific experiment? Because you need a baseline. What do you compare it to?
The best you could do is compare it to the background rate, which is almost impossible, because then you'd have to figure out the background rate for that exact demographic. It essentially renders the trial useless for safety. But here's the thing. Even if they had a control group, Tucker, even if they did, with 3 days of safety review, what are you reviewing? It takes weeks often for even any immune dysregulation caused by the product to appear, just like it takes at least many weeks for you to build up, let's say, antibodies, so the target antigen in the vial.
Exactly.
If you're going to have self-attacking antibodies, those take weeks as well to develop. And oftentimes when you're giving it to a baby, this product is given at 2, 4, and 6 months. If they're going to have an immune dysregulation, if they're going to have a developmental issue, you're not going to know that for years. Asthma is not even diagnosed until a few years of age. Developmental issues take years. And so, a lot of the issues that we see, I mentioned, my firm's got about 40 people.
that just do vaccine work. We do other things, but they just do vaccine work. And so, and we don't represent pharmaceutical companies. So as far as I know, we have the biggest vaccine practice in the world that doesn't represent pharmaceutical companies. One of the practices we have is vaccine injury claims. We don't sue pharmaceutical companies. You can't. They have immunity. To liability since 1986. The only product like that. But you can't sue the federal health authorities in this little program. And so, a lot of the injuries that we see when we do that work are immune or immune-mediated neurological disorders. And those things are not going to appear until typically a few days after vaccination. So this trial, going back to this polio vaccine called, that was the subject of this petition, it was utterly useless to determine its safety. So,
I'm a couple quick questions.
Please.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of an experiment without a control group. And 3 days is obviously inadequate to judge the safety of, or the efficacy for that matter, of a product. So how did federal health regulators sign off on that?
That's an excellent question. Why would the FDA agree to license it? Right? It's a great question. We could talk about regulatory capture.
And that's where the clip ends. You can watch the full conversation. Just go to Tucker's website. It's amazing.
That vaccine court, I think he said, was established 86, 85, something like that. There's a case right around that time, and there's a reason they came up with that vaccine court. And I mean, it's again one of those deals you follow the money on.
Yeah.
And when you get vaccines, like he was just saying, that new polio vaccine, when Justin was born and we were given vaccines for Justin, we weren't able to ask. You weren't asking anything, honestly, then. You were just given. But at this point, if that new polio vaccine that they're talking about, how can I make sure my kid doesn't get that one? I want the old one. I want the original. How do you even do that? And
It's a good question.
If you can't sue the vaccine manufacturer, who am I going to sue?
Well, and what's incredible is this whole, I think, nuanced case this lawyer's talking about, because he represents RFK Jr. on other things.
Right.
Not this.
Oh, yeah, they just drug him in.
They throw out a headline that RFK Jr. is against the polio vaccine.
Right, which I didn't even know there was more than one. Until just now, I did not know that.
And this is the sort of crap that acts like we're the prestige outlet for information, all the news that's fit to print. No, y'all are, well, you're the biggest front group for the criminal organization that runs this country and much of the globe. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon. Happy New Year to you both. They're ready to help you out in the new year when it comes to refinancing your home. Could be you're looking to get credit card debt off your back. Maybe you had a crazy Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
And, but you're expecting to be able to refinance. Well, they can turn that around for you very quickly, whatever your goals. Could be you're looking to reinvest back in yourself, your property, your family. Just restructure and finance for particular reasons. Let them get to know you there at Alabama Home Mortgage and help guide you through a great refinance deal. Or if you're looking to buy in 2025, go ahead and get pre-approved.
I'm telling you, it's the thing to do, Joey.
It's that simple that starts the process, and then you can actually go out shopping and be like, okay, we're doing this thing.
And we got a budget. We know what we're shopping for.
And Alabama Home Mortgage, you're not going to have any surprises on closing day. They'll walk with you every step of the way from pre-approval all the way to closing day. That number, 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can always visit them on the web and apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Now you can add the power of digital advertising to the #1 reach of radio. Let Blue Water's 20 years of local advertising and marketing success show you how. Grow your business with a complete suite of digital solutions, combined with the reach of the most listened to radio group in the river region. Call us or go to BlueWaterBroadcasting.com to find out how we can increase your return on investment. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
For more information, send an email to digital@BlueWaterBroadcasting.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be.
1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The crystal-covered ball that descends down a pole in Times Square to ring in the new year has taken for a test run as New York City officials laid out their plans for the New Year's Eve event. The sphere weighs almost 6 tons and features 2,688 crystal triangles. New York City police say they've identified the woman who died on December 22nd after being set on fire while inside a New York subway train. The victim, a 61-year-old from New Jersey. Authorities announced the woman, Debrina Kawam, had a Toms River, New Jersey address. Major U.S. markets will be closed on January the 9th in honor of former President Jimmy Carter. On Wall Street, the Dow dropping 102 points. The NASDAQ is down 77. This is SRN News.
Making America great again starts with making America healthy again. You know, I lost over 50 pounds on the PhD weight loss and nutrition program. 3 years later, I've kept it off. You know why? Because Dr. Ashley Lucas and her team have been making America healthy for people like you and me for 10 years, because millions being spent on weight loss injections that have harmful side effects and lifelong dependency. Take a natural approach. It's not connected to a big pharma company's bottom line. You can do it with the help of PhD weight loss based on science and nutrition, a proven roadmap that has helped over 8,000 clients lose weight and keep it off. You'll learn to quiet those cravings and finally release that unhealthy belly fat. You won't be hungry. You'll never take medication. How many pounds would you like to lose in 2025, huh? PhD Weight Loss leading the charge to make America healthy again. Get started today. Schedule your consultation by calling 864-644-1900, 864-644-1900, or just visit myphdweightloss.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Well, hi, everybody. As we look ahead to this New Year's Eve night, not bad, with mostly clear skies. Temperature at midnight down to about 45. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 38. For New Year's Day, sunshine. Noticeably cooler with a high temperature only up to about 57. We'll be down to a sub-freezing 30 on Wednesday night. Still in the 50s on Friday and Saturday with more sun. And then colder Saturday and Saturday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, Happy New Year. This is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
There are several key legal cases out of Alabama that should have rulings in the upcoming new year. One big case involves a state law that was passed in 2022 that bans the use of transgender hormone therapy or surgeries on minors who are experiencing gender dysphoria. The VCAP law is currently being implemented after an injunction was lifted by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. A similar Tennessee law has already gone before the U.S. Supreme Court for oral arguments, and a ruling on that law will come out in June of 2025. That ruling will immediately influence the implementation of the law here in Alabama. And another case to be resolved this year will be the ongoing litigation against the Alabama Medical Cannabis Commission, which first started issuing licenses at the start of 2024. The commission was then challenged in court by cannabis companies for the process of determining who gets those licenses and who doesn't. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A former coach and teacher at Faith Academy in Mobile has further charges issued against him Jonathan Sowers was already facing charges for sex with an underage student at that school. Now a grand jury has added an additional charge of sodomy. Sowers has been out on bond from the original charges, and after the new charges were issued against him this past weekend, he was released on bond again. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdit. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Did you know that over 12 times a day, someone in Autauga County calls 911 to report a medical or fire emergency? Volunteer first responders are saving lives and property, and you can be part of their team.
Volunteering as a first responder is really about making a difference where it's needed most, and Autauga County needs you now more than ever. Are you ready to answer the call?
To begin your journey, you can find any of the agencies of the Autauga County Firefighters Association on Facebook or visit makemeafirefighter.org.
Start your day a better way with Action 8 News Rising. Get your first look at news happening today, plus your latest forecast and live traffic reports. Don't settle for the same old morning newscast. Watch Action 8 News Rising, weekday mornings starting at 4:30. Don't know an iPhone from a flip phone? You need to watch Action 8 News. Consumer technology reporter Jamie Tucker keeps you on top of the latest technology and keeps you safe from scams and identity thieves. Watch What the Tech, only on Action 8 News.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
There are those that think I'm a very stable genius.
This is a tough country. We live in the southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Final hour. What's the score of the Bama game?
I'll check again, but it was 19-13 a second ago, I think.
Bama?
Bama's still in the losing end of the
game.
They
have 13. And
Yeah. They did score a field goal right before we went to break.
Okay, it sounds like Michigan also kicked a field goal at some point.
At some point. It's 19-13 still. Alabama's got the ball with 2 minutes left.
But, there is a lot of worry and woe up there, and I certainly contribute my part. But the future does look bright. There are going to be growing pains, like we were just saying, talking to Albie's girl.
Mm-hmm.
But there are so many moments now that should give you hope. One is this huge fail by Current Affairs. They put out there, right-wing populism usually consists of men who were born to immense privilege and went to elite schools railing against people who are, in fact, many times less powerful and influential than they are.
Allen Gardens Elementary was not very elite, Joey.
Well, and of course, they have arrows in the picture they shared for their article.
Yeah.
And it says Ivy educated real estate developer pointing towards Trump.
Ah.
And then they have one of Vance. It's a picture of Vance and Trump like shaking hands, looking each other in the eye. It says Ivy-educated venture capitalist J.D. Vance, community notes for the win, saying this post requires additional context. J.D. Vance was raised in a low-income household by grandparents and attended a rural public school. And if you've seen his book,
you understand that it was a very rough upbringing that boy had.
If you've read his book or seen the movie based on the book, Hillbilly Elegy, he's the American dream.
Far from Camelot.
How dare he go on to find as much success as possible to put himself in the position to take on you a-holes.
That's why they're pissed. He did it himself. He didn't need the government. He did it himself. That's why they're pissed.
But you got to love that Community Notes wins again. We didn't get into it, but Kekius Maximus. Elon Musk changed his name online to Kekius Maximus. And everybody's like, what does that mean, man? What does that even mean? It's like
cat with the I think he had a chest
it's the
guard
feel
on.
goods. It's like the feels good man frog.
Yeah.
And he's wearing Roman armor and he's holding a video game controller.
So
It's now Elon's new
so threatening.
209 million followers. That's unreal.
Can I get $1 from one of them?
And of course, Elon just shared the New York Post explanation of why he changed his name to Kekius Maximus, and he just responded to it with Kek. K-E-K. Yeah. He's just having fun.
He's just having fun. Not everything the man does is going to change the world every single time. The guy likes to just have a little fun.
Well, there's this whole theory. There's a guy named Adrian Dittman. People are like, that's just Elon. That's an Elon burner account. And Elon's like, oh, this is so ridiculous.
It is,
and he's
right?
messing around, though, because he's having so much fun. Because I think Dittman then tweeted out, wouldn't it be hilarious if journalists had to refer to Elon Musk as Kekius Maximus, and then Elon changed his name to Kekius Maximus, and then journalists wrote up whole stories about Kekius Maximus, a.k.a. Elon Musk.
Good Lord, he's living rent-free in too many people's head.
Oh, goodness gracious. So that's fun. Also, it looks like I think Doge is going to be a success. It also looks like Trump is rearing and ready to go. Let's. This is a video that Trump posted, I believe, today to bring us into the new year. Let's listen in.
The winner of the presidential race, Donald Trump, wins the presidency. What started off as unlikely, impossible, is now reality.
I will fight for you with every breath in my body, and I will never, ever let you down.
We have a president who actually fulfilled the promises he made during the campaign, securing the border to foreign policy.
He now has a record as president that's pretty damn impressive.
Breaking news out of Palm
The
Beach,
FBI
Florida.
has executed an unprecedented search warrant at President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. The former president has both sides of the political aisle up
Is
in
a
arms.
dangerous and unstable moment in American history.
The Justice Department has just indicted former President Donald Trump.
7 years. They hated him. They targeted him. They hunted him.
This is the epitome of the abuse of the prosecutorial power to preempt political decisions.
I never thought anything like this could happen in America. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. They want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. They're not coming after me, they're coming after you, and I just happen to be standing in their way, and I will never be moving. On November 5th, 2024, justice will be done. We will take back our country, and we will make America great again. America will always rise to every challenge and overcome every danger.
Donald Trump seems to always get stronger when challenged. These types of things, I think, give him strength.
When I'm reelected, I will totally obliterate the deep state.
As long as we have pride in our beliefs, courage in our convictions, and faith in our God, then we will not fail.
Trump posted that today.
The good one.
Pretty daggum good.
You know, I noticed Pelosi there in the background.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of ironic. If someone were paranoid, they might say that old bat wouldn't get out of the way, so while she was in a different country. Somebody pushed her down some stairs, broke her hip. Now she's out of the way.
Yeah, somebody might say that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not implausible.
No.
I'll give you that. Not implausible at all. Let's see who this is on line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hola, Chapelitos.
Hey, what up, you doing?
Dude, I got this job that demands more of my attention than I can afford to give you.
I understand.
It's all good, man.
You know, it's not that I don't want to. I can't. I don't have the bandwidth. I'm not as smart as you. I can't multitask like that.
Don't sell yourself so short. A lot of people can fake it.
We got Joy to be short, so we don't have to do all that anymore.
I actually had a dream about you and your short list last night.
Did y'all just say something? I'm sorry. I was reading. I wasn't paying attention.
Are you really 5'11"? And I'm being serious. Are you really 5'11"?
Yeah, I think so.
I swear to God, I had a dream last night. And I was making fun of you being short. And you were screaming, and you would not stop screaming. You're 5'11". I mean, like, red face and all. Just
like angry?
Yes, in my face. And I'm going,
okay.
There's no one's arguing with you, Joey. And you're just like, I'm 5'11". I'm 5'11".
The tide is going to roll, baby.
That's what I'm picturing, man.
Is there a football game?
Yeah, there's a beating going on.
What's the score of that
I
football
still think
game?
it's
Let's see. I'll just type it in
16,
over
19,
here.
13, something like that.
Not that River Region Ballet. They do good work over there. Stop
They do good work.
auto-populating things, Google.
They do good work. I'll give them that.
I want Alabama football. Yeah, it's still 1913.
With a minute and some change?
Yeah, a little less than a minute in the fourth quarter.
Alabama's winning.
Eric, I forgot to congratulate Georgia on the SEC championship.
Oh, did we win that one? My bad. I usually don't start watching these games till January 1st. So, you know.
What do you make of this,
You know what I mean?
this whole playoff this year?
I think this was a gargantuan money ruse.
Yeah.
I think this was a big scam so that you could get some Big 10 and Big 12 teams or Pac-12, whatever they're called. I didn't even follow learn the name of their division. Those guys are going to lose.
Yeah.
I think it was an opportunity to get them in there and to give some people some. We made it to a national, or we made it to the playoffs, and it sucks because if they expand this, and there's going to be, I mean, Alabama and A&M is going to be in it next year.
Well,
I mean,
strength of schedule ain't going to matter no more.
I got an idea. It's a fantastic idea. Why don't we start out like it is everybody's in the tournament, and then as you lose through the season, you walk your way out of it. How about that?
Man, I thought that was the whole reason of the season in general, and then the champions get to play in the end.
No, this is participation trophy era.
Yes, you're
We're gonna
right.
let everybody play in the game.
By the way, Alabama has the football with 49 seconds left, 3rd and 10 on the Michigan 15, with 2 timeouts left.
They're going to score.
Think so?
Yes,
They got to
why
score a
not?
touchdown.
You know that new guy's got to kill somebody, or they're going to kill him in the off season. You know, you got Alabama playing a bowl game on the 31st. What are you doing, man?
I know it.
If you can't make it to January to play, you're not going to make it at Alabama.
I
That's
seriously could feel it today. Like you can feel we didn't have as many listeners today.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's watching Bama.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I mean,
And nobody's heard our comments about Bama, because usually whenever I knock Bama just a little bit, my phone starts blowing up.
Right. They're all.
No.
Yeah, so they are glued, especially right this second, they are glued to the TV.
Now if they score here, all these Bama fans be like,
we got to get out of here, man.
they're going to say, we should have been in there instead of.
Yeah, you know it,
business
man. You know it.
Not that they're playing a lesser opponent or anything. You know, those guys ain't exactly
That's
playing
it.
in January either.
19-13, that's the end of the game.
Well,
it's done?
Yep, it's done.
Glad 19. Did you say 19-13?
Final. Yep, it just came in on my end.
19-13.
I thought it was 49-13. Good Lord.
Wolverines, baby. Yeah, okay, now we can officially say it.
Well, now
The Nick Saban era is over.
Well, the Bama fans have been listening, because now they're letting me know.
I'm glad I can. Hey,
we don't talk that way about the Tide.
Right. Do you know you just pissed off 50% of your audience? 50%.
Yeah, but the other 50% don't care and think it's hilarious.
Right. It's football. It's college football in the South. And as far as Alabama, Auburn, especially Auburn this year, we got nothing else.
Well, and
All
when
we can do
everybody
is
else,
hate on everybody else.
can pay players, you know.
We can too. What's the problem? What's the problem?
Well, you got to pay the right ones.
Apparently that's the
Shane
case.
Gillis got it.
He really
That's
did.
hilarious.
It's not a funny
Oh
show.
my God.
It was so funny. His face starts getting red.
And then he has that dig back. Well, Alabama Jones over here.
Oh my God. That was hysterical. Oh, it was hysterical.
All right, y'all. Well, Happy New Year. We got to talk to y'all. Y'all be safe. Remember, tonight is amateur night.
That's right.
Professionals stay home, buy in bulk, and stay at the house.
That's it.
That's the keys for success tonight. And you don't have to worry about watching. You don't have to worry about having a hangover tomorrow because Alabama ain't playing. So you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, you can start drinking now. It's a tear in my beer.
Good song.
All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.
See you, brother.
272-9228. So Alabama lost.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I mean, it's not like Auburn did any better this year, but it is kind of fun to
What
see.
else have we got?
Like, welcome back to Earth.
Yep.
Especially when I'm going through, again, the Cam Newton year was my senior year, but most of, like, those years was Saban just dominating.
I've watched so many episodes of Cam Newton on podcasts. He's got his own, but he's on other ones. And they always bring up the money. And to this day,
He insists he didn't do that.
right, to this day, I mean, the last one I heard, he said it was $160,000. It was him and his mom and his dad were sitting in a room, and a reporter asked him.
Well, and I'm almost thinking, did he blame? He said it was sour grapes. Somebody started the rumor. Was it Hugh Freeze?
No, it wasn't Hugh Freeze.
Who was it? Miss Dan Mullen?
Mullins.
Yeah.
So anyway, he's sitting there with that reporter, and the reporter goes, "Tell us about the money that you supposedly got." He said, "Well, we never got anything." He said, "Well," and they used one story in particular. He said, "And that story there, when that broke, I was sitting with my mama and my dad.
Yeah.
And I looked over at my mom. I said, 'Did you get any money?' And she said, 'No.' And I looked at my dad. 'Did you get any money?' And he said, 'No.' They're just lying, folks." But then later on, not from him, but from other players that have always said that, 20 years down the road, they'll come back out. "Yeah, man, when I was playing at Alabama, Auburn, college ball, yeah, I got $5,000-$10,000 a week."
Oh, yeah.
You're like, "But you denied it." Yeah. But, I'm retired now. It's all good. So you never know. And would I take the money? Probably. Especially if I was in most of the situations those folks are in. The whole reason I'm going to college is try to better my family. If this will get them there faster. Sorry.
Right. Hey, let's go to line 3. You're on the air. Who's this?
All right.
Well, I've been holding because I wanted to tell you. Excuse me, this is Babs.
Hey, Babs.
I was trying to tell you until you finally found out that Michigan won. Woohoo! That's a win for Auburn, right, Eddie?
That's right. We'll take it. It's the only one we can get.
That's it. You take what we can get. So, and I wanted to wish you guys a happy New Year. 2025 is going to be an amazing year.
Hope so.
Indeed, it will be. Happy New Year, Barbara.
Absolutely. Love you guys.
Love you too,
Love
hon.
you too. Yeah, it is going to be, I think, a good year. Not to say there won't be some weird crap that
We're going to have all kinds of challenges. With just Trump coming in, they're not going to lay down the red carpet for him. So I expect a little bit of BS going to come with that.
Let's see here. Rumex Angler says, "Damn. Well, we always have next year."
Now you sound like Auburn.
Executive Spam says, "Joey Clark is the black-eyed pea of my life." Okay, you dirty dog. Rumex Angler is back, saying, "The sound has been garbled today, like old Red, Whitey, and Blue has been talking with a mouthful of his own cheek. Roll Tide."
Give me a cup. I'm drowning over here.
Like, how much you've been drinking? How much you've been in your cups today?
Today, nothing.
No, I was talking to Romex.
Yeah, he's deep. It's 2:30. It's New Year's Eve.
And then Spam says, "It's New Year's Eve. He's there for us."
Don't you forget, live shows mean something.
Yeah, and it's not the JV. We don't have a JV team.
No.
We don't have anybody who can really guest host this.
So true.
Well, I know one person who probably would be like, "Sure." You all right?
I'm good. You got something in that shot there.
Yeah. But one reason that it's going to be a good year?
Why is that?
is I think Doge is going to work.
More and more people are getting excited about it.
Oh, wait, we got more comments rolling in. Jeffrey, does Eddie need a beer? I think we need a beer and cigars or some whiskey and cigars to celebrate the Michigan Wolverines.
I can't smoke cigars. That's one of those things in my life that
you don't inhale.
Every time I've had a cigar, my wife will back me up.
It's
every
pretty
time
easy.
I've had one, it never ends well for Eddie.
Are you on nicotine at all?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's probably why.
Mm-mm.
But you do not inhale these suckers. I guess some men do, which is crazy. Jeffrey says, or two. Patrick says, I'll be honest, when I saw NYE, I thought you meant Bill Nye.
The science guy.
So I named the stream NYE in the Gump in all caps.
We're going to have Bill Nye on today?
Mm-hmm. I still don't even, what is the origin of the Gump?
It'd be Montgomery. I don't know.
I've already forgotten. I know it's a thing.
Yeah.
But, anyway. But I do think Doge is going to be a big
station.
success this year.
We're a
Well,
station.
yeah, 104.9.
Okay, remember that.
But yeah.
That's the Gump, Joey.
Yeah, because alternative rock's really going strong these days.
Put me some Pearl Jam.
Is that alt rock?
It was when I was.
Well, yeah,
kid.
when you were still listening to Poison.
No, I was coming out of my Poison phase, going into my Soundgarden phase.
Mm-hmm. Soundgarden's a good phase.
It was a great phase.
See, I've never been a big Nirvana guy.
The first album was really great. Other than that, I
always
kind
of that era, I more went towards like Soundgarden.
No, Soundgarden was it, man.
Well, Alice in Chains comes out of there.
Another
too.
great one.
Yeah.
There was a movie back in the day, in that time frame, called Singles was the name of that movie. Great movie.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best soundtracks, alternative rock soundtracks ever. Screaming Trees are on it. Just a great soundtrack. Good movie, too.
Yeah, and somehow in my random playlist that came up, I hadn't heard any Daft Punk in a while. You go back, I think it's like the mid-'90s, they come out with an album called Discovery that has a lot of songs everybody knows, and it's like they were so ahead of everything. Now you can go all the way back to Kraftwerk. And,
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, you can find the beats, and
Man, that is one of the best albums of all time, the work they put together, and how much influence they still hold today. In fact, more and more music, even stuff that sounds more old-timey, is all loops.
Mm-hmm.
And Daft Punk, man, great stuff.
Are you going to be one of those people, when you have kids and you're listening to a new song, and it's got the old loop in there, are you going to be one of those people that ruin it and go, hold on, this band you're talking about didn't put it out. Let me get the original. Back in 1973, this was put out by the OJs. Or are you just going to let them, are you going to educate them? Or
No, you enjoy the song and you can educate. You can do both.
Because
You
I'm
can do
that
the
guy.
deep cut.
I'm that guy. I quickly ask, you know who
Like,
this is?
for instance, Tyrone Davis, great soul singer, R&B singer. His hit song, and it's like real upbeat, kind of classic R&B sense to it, Turn Back the Hands of Time. You remember that song?
Yeah.
There is, on a different album by Tyrone Davis, a completely different version of that song where the tempo's turned down.
Totally different in it.
And it's like a slow ballad.
Yep.
And I think I like it better than the original hit song. So, yeah, I'll be the guy who's like, hey, you think you know stuff. Here, listen to this deep cut.
Because I think that's very important. That was something I know I drove my son nuts with when he had to ride with me when I was working. But music would come on, and I knew a lot about music, so I thought I needed to share it.
What happens with me is I'll get fixated on an artist and then be like, well, who influenced them?
Mm-hmm.
And then you just go down all these rabbit holes of fairly obscure bands, too, where, like, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the big name really learned from these names.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of Prince's music sounds like, especially the early stuff, sounds like it's a group called the Blackbirds, which I think was like a high school band or something like that. But horn sections, funky music, like really good stuff. You get on Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan phase, so you start going back in time to all the old blues players, and like all that stuff is just, you got to be in the right mood, but at least for me, but it's gold.
Stevie Ray Vaughan, I can listen to just hours on end. That's one of my best. Not for the neighbors so much because it's kind of loud, but
right.
Yeah.
You like Stevie Ray Vaughan?
I love Stevie Ray Vaughan. That's
Which one?
Head swallowing music. Life by the Drops, one of my favorite songs by him. It's one of them songs that came on at a time in my life where it just hit me.
I think I'm partial to the instrumentals.
Yeah.
So like Rude Mood or Testify.
There's another guy, Oreo Cookie Blues. Have you ever heard? When you mentioned about influencers, and I'll have to look it up, Stevie Ray Vaughan, one of his biggest influencers was, I can't think of the guy's name, but he had a song, Oreo Cookie Blues, and I found that album. I went and bought that album. That's how much it meant to me, and it was great to really hear, like you say, it's somebody that influenced him because it was really, really good. And a lot of, I hate to say it, but a lot of them don't give them credit.
Yeah,
they don't. They act like they're the original, and then kind of get forced into saying,
"Well, no, don't be talking about Led Zeppelin that way."
Not just Led Zeppelin, but the Rolling Stones.
No, I think
perhaps.
Zeppelin and Jimmy Page in particular has the argument that we took old blues music, but then we put it through this like blender of the occult.
I get it. They
Like,
made
on
some
the other side, it
changes
came out
to
with
it and made it their own.
crazy British sound.
I get it, but
I mean, they literally straight up ripped off some
Yeah.
old blues songs. So.
lyric by lyric.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But
So-
some of those songs still, like Lemon Song, good song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a few. Rolling Stones, though, that's another band. Takes me way back. And I seen a video of theirs the other day. I don't know when's the last time they toured. They had to be. This video couldn't be more than a year or two old. I hate to say it looks like my grandparents on stage, but man, they still got it. They still move.
Mick Jagger
was
does
still
still move.
running that stage.
Yeah. I think if he stops, he's dead.
I think you're right.
I think if Keith
you're
Richards
right.
stops, he's dead. I think it's because they have that sort of, we're going to
They
keep
got to
this
keep
going.
it going. Yeah. But I remember looking, I was like, God, how old they got to be now? I seen them in Atlanta, how many years ago? 15 years ago or more. And they were in their 70s then, and they were great.
Well, and the one song they will not play is Brown Sugar.
No, that's a shame.
Well, read the lyrics.
I know, but
then
go back to.
But then, you know, D'Angelo came out with that amazing album in the 90s, Brown Sugar, and man, if I could pick a sound, like the production of that album is so freaking good.
You go back I hate saying it, but on the Tiki Talk, people are. They're going back and they're listening to this great 70s and 80s music they grew up on, and now they're listening to the lyrics as an adult. They're like, oh, this is.
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
not
There's
what I thought that minute
there
ago.
is some stuff where you're like,
Afternoon Delight, perhaps.
Mhm. No, and there is also, in this day and age, it'll be a little crazy. You're still going to have the folks at the corporate interest push.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And they'll be the huge names, and they'll have, you know, the prime spots with all the advertising and marketing dollars on YouTube and on social media in general. And, you know, often they are talented singers in some way. But I like this new era because I think it's going more towards producers.
Yep.
Like people that do everything, right? Sing, play the instruments, have a unique sound. And I think that's going to be a huge thing in the next several years. You're going to get true independent music. It's already happening.
Yeah, it's happening.
To a large degree, and it's only going to speed up, which is very cool.
I love the idea that record companies got the middle finger a while back and people can just go around them. Because they're so, I'm sure you remember this in radio wars where, you know, to get on the radio, you couldn't just be talented. That was just one of the parts of the puzzle. So I love the fact with YouTube, even those stupid shows on TV or the talent shows, I love the fact because it shows more and more everyday people have talent. There's a lot of talent out there to be discovered still.
Yeah, and when I look back at my year in review of music, it was a lot of John 5.
Yeah.
Definitely some Prince. And then lately, like just in the month of December, and I discovered this guy during the pandemic, called Ginger Root is the name of the band. And like the first big album he put out, I think it was for a school music project where he made like 40 songs in 40 weeks, like a song a week doing covers. And he recorded them. I could get the timeline wrong, but he recorded like all these covers, all these great, like Ooh Child, all sorts of great songs. But it was done like with the most bare bones limited gear, like in the back of his car. So like a little MIDI controller and a little bass.
Okay,
and
so, yeah, I'm seeing one of his concerts now. Yeah, and it's like at a venue, very small venue. Yeah.
Right, but the
Very
bass,
basic.
the bass playing is what hooked me on his music. Like
Really?
the bass is always it's funky to the level of more like jazz playing, and it really great stuff. And I can't stop listening to it. His new album. The song's called No Problems. Ginger Root, No Problems. Fantastic. I love it. And maybe there's going to be some folks who go, what's this elevator music? But it's like, no, it's very bass heavy, very thick sound, very electronic sound, but funky. And you can tell he's actually playing the stuff. It's not just looped. Really good stuff. And good lyrics.
I see why you like him.
Why?
Nerd.
Yeah. I like the nerdy stuff.
No, I mean, he's a straight up nerd.
And also, Wolf Peck, Wolfman, Jack Stratton stuff is just fantastic. Corey Wong's great. All that whole group that grew up in the last decade is I love their stuff. So there's all sorts of that music. At the end of the day, makes me very happy. It's a lot of fun to when I got time to just go through a random playlist and I'll listen for like a minute and
Oh, yeah.
next. And sometimes you find stuff people that aren't big, like who have just a few hundred likes, and they're just getting started. And I'm like, but I really like your stuff.
When we worked at the record store, that was one of the great things. We get these EPs in that no one's ever heard of. We'd never heard of them, and you play them, and honestly, 90% of them are crap. But you get some really good ones, and you're like, okay, I want to know more about this guy. Well, this is the only thing he's got.
Mhm.
And at that time we were in South Carolina, and most of these EPs are from places in California and places like this. So all you ever hear, that one hit, and it never really goes anywhere. It's just something that stayed kind of in the industry, and he never got that big push.
But I like the folks that can keep doing it, do it again, do it again, do it again. But I do love these folks that like one album and they were done. Like Jeff Buckley's album that has Hallelujah and all that. It's just from start to finish. It's a very cool album.
Something they had in them, they had to get out.
Yeah.
Of. And now,
and then they're
I've got
like,
it out.
we're
I'm
done.
good. Yeah.
I'm sure he still
I can
plays and
appreciate
tours
that,
and all this stuff. But like, it's, I love that sort of moment where it's like you just one and done, and it's not just a one hit wonder. It's just like,
no, it's really,
it's sort of a
something you
cult
feel like you've
classic,
gotta
and
have
it
out of
grows slowly
Yeah.
over time, sort of stuff. Yeah.
That's another cool thing about the Tiki Talk. So there'll be small businesses out there. When I say small business, it'll be like an old retired individual, and he's got a grandson, or there was one in particular. This guy, he was selling hats, fishing hats. Nobody's buying them. I mean, come on. If I opened a fishing hat site online, no one would ever notice me, right? So his son or grandson videos him just chatting one day, shows a few hats. He puts that on TikTok. Somehow he gets some traction. So day 2, the guy goes to TikTok and he's like, hey, he's older fella. He's like, hey, I heard this is the place to be. I got a couple orders from you folks. I appreciate it. Blah, blah, blah. Very innocent. 2 days later, he comes back. Oh my God. And here's a box of mail behind him. Like, oh my God, I can't believe the orders I'm getting for these hats. I was selling maybe 2-3 hats a year. I've got an order for 70 hats that the guy wants in a month now. I mean,
wow,
it's amazing to see people get behind people like
and that whole we need to up the sales tax, make things fair for brick and mortar. It's like, you dopes,
right?
Because yes, Amazon's a big behemoth. They want the tax.
They do.
But how many tiny operations are now making bank online?
Yeah.
And maybe you could create incentives that bring those people to have like sort of a novelty brick and mortar. It's not about buying everything in the shop, but that's their physical location, and there's an advantage of running out.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things you could do.
There's just so many. They're going after people like this old guy. He doesn't need the money. He's retired. This is a hobby he has, and it's a good looking product. But for him to get all this accolades from people, that's a huge thing. You know, I hate saying it, but he's a lonely old man. But what are we going to do? Let's go tax the crap out of him. It's like when the kid puts up a lemonade stand and they call the city on him and he closes them down. What the hell are we doing?
I know. What are we doing? By the way, Happy New Year to Jane and Mark.
Yeah.
Great folks. Great listeners to the show. I appreciate y'all being friends of the show.
No doubt.
You always got a seat here, Mark, when you want to come.
No doubt. I love it when he comes here.
272-9228. That's 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Dillon Rings. And again, Dillon Rings is a full-service jewelry shop. They're ready to help you out, whether you're looking to buy some of what they have in stock. They have everyday jewelry all the way up to very high-end stuff. Of course, they also can appraise jewelry. So maybe it's been a few years. With inflation, you probably need to get that ring that's been in the family for a while appraised, see what you're actually holding on to there. They can also help you with spa treatments. So it could be the jewelry that you love, that you wear all the time, has gotten old. It's, worn down a little bit, but I mean Josh Ryder, can make it shine and shimmer like it's brand new again. And of course, Josh Ryder specializes in custom design work. So maybe you want to combine two pieces of jewelry. Maybe you want to customize a piece of jewelry you already have, or it could be you had a dream about it. It's something that just came right out of your imagination, and you want to enjoy that jewelry in reality. Josh Ryder can make it a reality for you. So check out Dillon Rings today. They'll be back open in the new year there after January the 2nd. And of course, you can always go to DylanRings.com or just search Dylan Rings on the Book of Faces or the Gram on Instagram. But I really encourage you, once they open back up, to stop by 119 Brown Springs Road right here in Montgomery, just off Atlanta Highway. I kind of remember where the old Fun Zone used to be, where I used to work. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie Ryder Happy New Year, and that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Is your business feeling the heat of cyber attacks? Tired of worrying about ransomware, data breaches, downtime, and employee mistakes? GTI Managed IT Solutions has been your trusted partner since 1999, safeguarding and supporting businesses like yours from the ever-evolving threats in the digital world. GTI, your peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 819-4650 or visit gtinow.com.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 special. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network is brought to you by Earnest Financial.
If you're tired of losing your money in the stock market, call David Earnest, 334-279-7431. Earnest Financial, LLC.
Well, hi, everybody. As we look ahead to this New Year's Eve night, not bad, with mostly clear skies. Temperature at midnight down to about 45. Overnight low temperature tonight down to about 38. For New Year's Day, sunshine. Noticeably cooler, with a high temperature only up to about 57. We'll be down to a sub-freezing 30 on Wednesday night. Still in the 50s on Friday and Saturday with more sun. And then colder Saturday and Saturday night. From the Blue Water Weather Center, Happy New Year. This is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. And happy hour will begin soon. Pamela's here. Hey, how you doing?
I'm an interloper on your show.
Happy to have you. Adjust the
Looking at the feed here, suddenly earlier it didn't look so good. Now it looks much better. And now we're not so good again. I don't know what happened.
Well, and we, thanks. Appreciate that. Yes, I know. I know. I have a mirror. We've been caught up doing the show, Pamela. Who won the Alabama game?
Not Alabama.
Not
really?
Alabama. Oh.
Wait, Michigan beat them?
Yeah.
Wow. Was it like a blowout, or did it come down to kind of a dramatic last second drive that failed?
No, nothing dramatic.
It led to failure. There was
It led to failure for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes kids learn a lot of lessons. Like, you try hard, you can really put your mind to it, you win championships, and you can...
You can pick a really long-running championship school. And then
Right,
just-
and then sometimes, yeah, you try your hardest, and you're a miserable failure.
Coach quits, and you're done.
Yeah.
And I say that, Bammers, knowing I am an Auburn fan, and I'm very in touch with the feeling of miserable
What bowl
failure.
game are we going to, Joe?
Yeah.
What bowl game are we going to?
I don't think we...
I think we're in the no-go bowl.
Yeah, the Good and Plenty Bowl.
Good and plenty.
The Good and Plenty Bowl, yeah. Right, and that's more where you just eat good and plenty until you throw up. Let's go to Tumbling Dice. Say Tumbling Dice.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Happy New Year.
Happy New
New
Year.
Year.
So y'all were talking music, and Tumbling Dice. I grew up in Atlanta back in the '60s and '70s. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And graduated high school of '73. And so grew up with, Allman Brothers playing in Piedmont Park, going to plenty of shows at the Fox, Grateful Dead, Santana. I mean, back then, all the music was just, so good, but they are all different, in their style.
Oh, yeah.
And that was really what I appreciated so much about that, just the fact that, and I don't know, one of you guys said something about now when we listen to that music now, and we never really pay that much attention to the lyrics, but now you got, wow, there's some pretty heavy stuff in there, even with the music is so good, and it's still good,
Oh, absolutely. And, I went down the rabbit hole and somehow came across somebody learning quickly Yes's Roundabout, learning the bass part on it. And dang,
oh yeah,
goodness.
yeah, the bass guy would like that. But
so good.
But the name Tumbling Dice, if I didn't already say that, back then that was before cell phones, and when we were riding around town, bored and restless and young, not maybe so much bored, but we all had CB radios. That's how we communicated. Hooked up with our friends. You remember those days?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tumbling Dice was my CB name, because I like the Stones and I play harp and some guitar myself. So
cool.
That's awesome.
Tumbling Dice is a
anyway,
great song.
Yeah, it's a
good,
great song.
Good pull.
Yeah,
my favorite,
yeah,
if I put on Stones, I do the B-side of Tattoo You.
Yeah.
For some reason, I really freaking like, especially how it ends with Waiting on a Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Good song.
Yes, yeah. And then, like we said, I didn't realize like this, Eddie, but you said they don't play Brown Sugar anymore, because of those lyrics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not publicly, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to call that in and wish y'all a happy New Year.
Well, Happy New Year.
We'll stay in touch and keep on doing what you're doing.
Appreciate Tumbling Dice. Happy New Year, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't listen to Brown Sugar unless you do.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I've listened to it in the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good song.
It's a good
It's a
song.
good song.
Yeah.
It's
a catchy song. Let's go to Boomer T. Hey, Boomer T.
I listened to it this morning. Yeah, let me tell you something. Because Bobby Keys, the Sixth Beatle. The Sixth Stone has got the greatest solo saxophone ever. Bobby Keys the greatest saxophone ever, and I'm telling you, that's why I listen to that song. I know the words. I don't care about the words. It don't bother me. I'm all about the music. And that's the same thing now. In today's new music now, there is no words. Everybody, yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, like all the popular stuff. There's a lot of good new stuff out there.
There's a lot. That's all you got to do is run around and stay stupid. And nowadays, if the freakier you look, the more you want it, the more you sell your records. The more you got to have a gimmick. There is no entertainment anymore. There is no true artist anymore. And Joe S.Y., like, you're down to your bottom. You're going old school. You're getting into the roots of the music. That's what you're supposed to do, and you're playing. You ain't got a gimmick. Joey don't come out there with a chicken on his head and stuff and go, let's play music.
Yeah, but they've been doing gimmicks for years, man. It's an old Bill Burr joke. Goes, back in my day, music is you dress like a woman and you sing about the...
That's exactly right. Though. Anyway, look here, man. I'm going to say one thing for all my Tide fans out there. You got beat. You got beat. You got beat. That's all. It's over. The wheels on the bus Fell off the bus, fell off the bus, fell off the bus, the wheels on the bus. Hey, guys, young lady, I'm sitting here, beautiful Lake Jordan, and this beautiful day. God made the sun come out. Got my collard greens cooked, got my black eyed peas cooked. I'm going to put my pasta in the crock pot here in a few minutes and just sit right here and enjoy the week and have fun. And Joey, Eddie, it's been a pleasure listening to y'all all this year. Y'all continue working strong and hard. I hope y'all have a super duper awesome new year. I hope you get 1,000 more daggone advertisements, Joey. Eddie, I hope you sell a ton of houses. And guys, y'all just please be safe out there. And thank you for all you do for this radio. Joey, I really appreciate the most is you're about the only one in this town that will continue to bring up stuff about Montgomery and try to get the mayor on there. I do appreciate that, even though he doesn't show up. But, hey, he's a loser. Anyway, guys, y'all have a great day. God bless y'all. God bless America. 2025, it's the year of the Trumpster, baby. Keep on trumping. I love you. See you when I see you.
See you, Boomer T.
Happy New Year. Wow, hard to beat that. How about this? Let's hit
that's some good energy.
Yeah.
Our last break here. This part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson, the Goodson Group, and they're at the Goodson Group. Bo and his team are ready to help you with buying or selling here in the River Region real estate market. Or if you're looking to convert that current property into a rental, they can manage it for you. They have management services for a reasonable fee. Make that work for you. And then, of course, the crown jewel there is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed in the state. And the proof of how good it is just all the folks that have graduated from Bo's school and gone on to great success as fully licensed real estate agents or as more knowledgeable private players here in the real estate markets. Check them out today. You can always go to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Did you know that over 12 times a day, someone in Autauga County calls 911 to report a medical or fire emergency? Volunteer first responders are saving lives and property, and you can be part of their team.
Volunteering as a first responder is really about making a difference where it's needed most, and Autauga County needs you now more than ever. Are you ready to answer the call?
To begin your journey, you can find any of the agencies of the Autauga County Firefighters Association on Facebook or visit makemeafirefighter.org.
Help solve unsolved crimes by watching Action 8 News. Look for our exclusive I-Team reports as we work with Central Alabama Crime Stoppers to solve murder mysteries and put criminals behind bars. Victims' families are counting on you to watch Action 8 News. Ever miss an Action 8 newscast? Catching up is easy with the free Zeem app. Watch the news live on your phone or see newscasts from the past 3 days. Download Zeem. Search for Zeem in your app store today and stay on top of what's happening from Action 8 News.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Do we have the prep?
We do. I believe moving on to the...
Wow, they've earned it.
No, 100%.
But y'all check out Prattville Carpet in the new year if you're looking for a resurface job with their brand new carpet, it's in the name, or a traditional hardwood, a luxury vinyl plank. I'm partial to because it looks like traditional hardwood, but it's much more forgiving, easier to clean, and literally softer. Yep. And of course, great laminate products and so much more. And of course, they'll come to your home for free, do a measurement, and pick out your product and get it laid down pretty quickly and easily. That number, 285-8117, that's 285-8117, or you can always stop by 2201 Cobbsford Road and be sure to tell Ray and the team there at Prattville Carpet that Joey and Eddie, the fellas on the radio, sent you. So we got about 5 minutes left. So what have we learned today? Anything? Have we learned anything? Anything at all?
Alabama lost.
They did.
Yes, it was a great game. I understood they put on quite a performance, but in the end fell short. 19-13.
Well, that's no fun to watch. I'm glad we were doing a show instead.
I don't know. Being an Alabama fan, I don't mind watching.
I don't want to see that. I know they're a rival, but I don't want to see miserable failure with a brand new football coach. I mean, that's and all these sad
Reminds you of
people,
Auburn?
angry.
Kind of reminds you of Auburn a little bit too much.
This entire year.
Thank you. This was supposed to be our year.
And seeing like Hugh Freeze look like a gin blossom without the gin, it's just like, what is the deal with you, man? We also learned that you and I aren't big like New Year's Eve guys. We aren't going out. You
Homebody.
Yeah.
Homebody?
Yeah.
Now, do you make it till midnight?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes I do,
I
but
don't
sometimes
really sleep like
10 o'clock I'm
ever.
out, and then I wake up
That's
at 12:30
kind of a
and go,
personal question.
What? You make it to
Do
midnight?
you make it to midnight?
Do
Yeah.
you?
I'm not that old.
No. No, I don't.
Well, Joey's not that old either, but he doesn't make it to midnight.
Oh, I do.
Well, I'm fits and starts. Like I might
It
fall
doesn't
asleep.
count rolling over to say.
Well,
oh,
no,
it's
I might
midnight
fall
now.
asleep at 8:30, and then you come to at 10. And you're like, well, let's
Okay,
watch
that's
something else.
That's the old people. That's me. Yeah, that's
No,
not
it's-
making it till midnight.
No, where you wake up right as the show ends. You're like, that's a good show. Let's keep going the next time. Go back asleep.
Start binging.
Mhm. Like,
Okay, Papa.
I own it. It's true. It's absolutely true. We learned that, we never got into the story.
What's that?
7 tons of cocaine found buried underneath a farm.
Where?
Let me click on this real quick. Spanish authorities said on Monday they had seen 7 tons of cocaine stashed in sea freight containers buried underneath a farm, arresting 3 suspected smugglers.
Ah, those 3 guys.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure it was those 3 guys.
Yeah.
With the shipping containers full of it.
Right. Those 3 guys.
It was the municipality of Correa del Rio, south of the city of Seville. Well, good for the Spanish, I guess. Well,
You don't go deep sea fishing, so you're probably never caught like a square group or anything.
it's kind of
like
a
that.
personal question.
Deep sea fishing, Pamela. Are you much of a deep sea fisher?
No,
person?
I don't want to go out into the ocean like that. No.
Well, a lot of times when you're out there, not a lot of times, but a few times you'll catch those square grouper, which will either be cocaine or it could be the marijuana.
Oh, we did learn that
Interesting.
the Taliban has banned windows on residential buildings because men might see in and see women at like the well.
Oh yeah,
or-
when they're doing something risque like
showing
cleaning,
a cankle?
Right.
or laundry.
Right. It could lead to obscene acts.
Just a little self control. A little self
Just
control
not.
goes a long way.
That what a waste.
But never mind.
You don't want to go there?
No.
All right.
But it showed how easily they can be manipulated. Just saying.
We also didn't get into this, but it's true. Smart glasses.
Oh yeah.
The Facebook Ray-Bans, which wrap a mic, audio, and camera and artificial intelligence assistant into what look like a great pair of Ray-Bans. It's $300 a piece.
Oh, that's not as expensive as I thought they would be.
That's not what I thought. I saw them and I went, "That's cool," but like I have earbuds, I have headphones,
Yeah.
like I
will
have sunglasses
will it
already.
record conversations?
You can do that with your phone.
Yeah, it's already
Sure,
happening.
but if I just got on a pair of sexy glasses, you're not thinking I'm recording the conversation?
I'm not worried about being recorded.
Yeah, and
I said what I said.
Well, you're going on here. Don't even worry about it, honey.
like you're going to be talking to your AI assistant,
Right.
No, but let's
That's
say
just
I'm
weird.
negotiating a deal and he puts something out there and we agree to it. Then when it comes to putting it on paper, they don't want to sign.
I would say it's a breakthrough because it doesn't look like you're wearing some weird piece of headgear. It does look like you're wearing cool sunglasses.
And plus, let's say I've got a boss that kind of sexually harasses me all the time, but nobody believes.
You would wear these because they got the camera.
Bing, baby.
Yeah. Do you do that often?
No. Should I?
Baba Bing, baby. We found Eddie Two Pies, his new catchphrase.
Yeah, I think I'll let that go in 2024. I think I'll let it stay behind.
You'd be quite a superhero. And on that note, y'all have a happy new year. I guess Greg is next with Pamela here for happy hour. Good luck today.
Why, thank you.
But in Alabama lost.
Alabama lost.
Yeah, darn it.
Well, let's make sure Greg knows so he doesn't say anything that'll make, you don't want to kick a man while he's down. Or when else are you going to kick him?
First chance you get.
Y'all stay tuned for Happy Hour.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott.